4-digit code now. Your code has been accepted. Your broadcast will begin in 5 seconds.
Check, check, 1, 2, check, check. Hello again, everybody. It's a doubleheader. We're tired. We're getting ready for the second game of 2 here at Brent Brown Ballpark. Jordan Bianucci alongside Ryan Pickens. We're excited, though, too, as we get to see 2 ball games today, and hopefully UVU can come out and win this one. They've dropped the first 2 in this series, but Caden Schmidt is on the mound for the Wolverines, and to give you the rest of the lineups, here is Ryan Pickens.
All right, thank you, Jordan. For the St. Mary's Gales in Game 3 of a 4-game set, pretty in left field, hitting cleanup, Anthony Gonsolin hits in the 5 spot. Anthony Villa will move down from the 4 to the 6 spot in this game. Jackson Thorson will be behind the plate, hitting 7th. Anthony Piscotti will hit 8th, and Joey Fisk rounds out the order and bats 9th. Defensively, it will be Andy Perkins in left, Cade Andrus in center, Mark Kruger in right. On the infield, it will be Jordan Schlehuber at third, Grayson Bogdan at second, Zach Fuller at second, Grayson Bogdan at short, be Spencer Gothberg at first, Seth Ryanier moves in from center to be behind the plate, and Caden Schmidt is on the mound.
Thank you, Ryan. As we are ready to go here, stepping in is Brett Rosso. Rosso, the right-handed hitter, against Caden Schmidt. The first pitch misses low and away for ball 1. First pitch, 3:47 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. 49 degrees, the game time temperature here in sunny Orem. Fastball catches the outside corner. It's 1-1.
Caden Schmidt making his second start of the year, his 3rd overall appearance. No record with a 9.64 ERA and 4 2/3 an innings pitched.
Ball misses down and in. It's 2-1. And this, I apologize. I refreshed the game time temperature machine that we have here in the booth. And it is actually, right now it says in the sun, it is 57 degrees, so absolutely gorgeous. This one is swung on and hit well to left center field. Going back is Andrus, making the start in center, and makes the grab, maybe 10 or 15 feet in front of the warning track out there, in front of the 427 marker. And there's one away in the first.
That's a good start for Caden Schmidt. You look at that high ERA now again, only in 4 2/3 innings. It's gonna be interesting. This is gonna be a battle of younger pitchers once again, like we're going to see throughout this entire series. You know, Caden Schmidt coming in as a freshman, going to be important for him to keep that ball down and keep base runners off the base paths.
So here's the right-handed hitting Kirtley. Takes a strike on the outside corner. Zach Kirtley, a big wide open stance from that right side. The Wolverines have dropped the first 2 games of this 4-game set. There's a fastball that gets away all the way to the backstop away from Caden Schmidt, and it's 1-1. One ball, 1 strike. Everybody straight away defensively for the Wolverines. No score, top of the first. That one swung on and driven into left field. Going back is Perkins. Perkins at the wall, looking up. Goodbye! A home run for Zach Kirtley. And that got out of here in a hurry.
There's really no doubt about that one. Just right off the bat, a pitch that Caden Schmidt left up, and it's just an elevated fastball that Zach Kirtley takes downtown.
Yeah, a line drive home run over the green wall down or in left field, and then also over the fence beyond, the chain link fence behind the green wall that actually I beg your pardon, that chain link fence actually extends the wall and is in play. Went over that, of course, for the home run as Colin Ferguson takes a strike. That little chain link fence up there, put up there in part maybe to protect some fans on the berm that's beyond the left field wall, but mostly it's only 305 down the line, so put up there just to make home runs a little bit harder to get here, but it wasn't that hard as Ferguson really hammered that ball. A line drive, though, and it got out in 2 seconds, it seemed like. Here's another fastball in there for a strike, and it's quickly 0-2 to Ferguson.
That's good. After the home run, get back in a groove and keep the ball down and throw strikes. That's the biggest thing with a pitcher. Some of it's mental. It's just understanding, okay, it's over, and now we can just settle in.
Fastball swung on and fouled back out of play. Waiting on deck is Connor Hornsby. From the windup, Caden Schmidt throws. Swing, fouled back again to the backstop, and it's 0-2. So the Wolverines in their alternate green tops, white pants, and green stirrups. The alternate blues for St. Mary's and gray pants. Green and white caps for the Wolverines. Blue caps for the Gales. The pitch swung on, grounder up the middle towards second base. Fuller ranging to his right, scoops it up, throws to first, and there are 2 away. Nice play by Zach Fuller. So it's 1-0 here in the top of the first. 2 outs, nobody on now for the cleanup hitter, Connor Hornsby. Hornsby in game 1 went 3 for 5 with an RBI and 2 runs scored. He's swinging a hot bat right now. Schmidt throws. Fastball, strike 1 on the outside corner. Your home plate umpire tonight is Jeff Clough. At first base, it's Jared Ferens, and at third, Pancho Flores. Pancho Flores took a throw from the outfield in the face in the first game of this doubleheader, but luckily he's all right. That one swung on and hit to center field. Coming in and to his left is Andrus. Andrus diving in, making the grab. What a play from Cade Andrus. Diving in and to his left, and he backhanded the ball, and that does it for the top of the first. But not before the Gales get a run on the board on a Zach Kirtley home run. St. Mary's leads at 1-0 as we head to the bottom of the first. You're listening to Utah Valley Baseball on WolverineGreen.com.
We move to the bottom of the first here on WolverineGreen.com. The Wolverines coming up trailing by 1, and their lineup announced by head coach Eric Madsen looks like this. Leading off in center field will be Cade Andrus. Seth Rainier will hit in the 2 spot. Mark Kruger will hit third. Spencer Gothberg, after his 3-hit ball game, back in the cleanup spot. Tate Harding will be the designated hitter hitting fifth. Jordan Schlehuber will hit in the 6th spot. Andy Perkins 7th. Grayson Bogdan 8th. And Zach Fuller 9th as the first pitch comes and is swung on by Andrus and fouled away.
Out on the mound is Drew Strotman for the Gales, the big right-hander out there. Strotman will throw 85 to an 88 mile an hour fastball. Will work in the slider, changeup. So not a ton of velocity. The 0-1 pitch to Andrus. He shows bunt, now pulls it back as a fastball misses away, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike.
Defensively for St. Mary's, it's going to be Hornsby in left, Fisk in center, Gonsolin in right, Villa at third, Piscotti at short, Kirkley at second, Ferguson at first, and Jackson Thorson behind the plate.
1-1 is swung on, line drive into left field, base hit. It'll one hop in front of Connor Hornsby, and if you're the Wolverines, that's how you want to get started here after giving up 1 run in the first.
Anything to get momentum. I mean, Utah Valley had, in the first game, they got 13 hits. Really, the difference came down to those 6 errors. And you can get 13 or 14 hits. That's going to be a pretty good day at the ballpark. But you got to find a way to produce runs, and Utah Valley did.
That's something you never want to have to. Those 6 errors really hurt him in the in the field. Here's Seth Rainier hitting from the right side. Andrus held on at first by Colin Ferguson, the pitch, and it hit him. Fastball hit Rainier right in the shoulder. He really didn't have a chance to get out of the way, just kind of turned his body, and it got him good on the upper arm. So here is Mark Kruger with 2 men aboard and nobody out. In game 1, Kruger went 1 for 4, scored a couple runs, and coaxed a walk. Kruger is one of those guys the Wolverines need to get going if they're going to be successful this season offensively. Mark hitting from the left side, no batting gloves. Went to Jordan High School out of Draper, Utah. Pitch to him. Fastball misses down and away, 1-0. Nobody out, 2 men on here in the bottom of the first. 1-0. The Gales lead it on a beautiful evening here in Orem. 1-0. Fastball. Strike 1 on the outside corner, says Jeff Clough. And it's 1-1. The outfield straight away playing Mark. The infield, the corners, no one holding on the runner at first base with Andrus at second. Playing off the bag at third, but fairly shallow, is Villa. The 1-1, breaking ball misses away, and it's 2-1. The Wolverines have not led in this series. In fact, they've trailed in each of the first 2 games after the top of the first, as they do now, in each of the first 3 games, I should say. Pitch. Breaking ball misses away again, and a good hitter's count now. 3-1 to Kruger.
These are the situations you want to see Mark Kruger get in. 3-1, fastball count. These are the counts he can do a lot of damage because you know he's going to have to get something in the strike zone.
Rainier at first, Andrus at second. From the stretch, Strutman throws. Swing and a miss. Kruger went after a fastball there. Took a mighty cut and missed it. Now the count is full. Stroutman peers in. Glove on his left hip. Now comes set, chest high. Grips the baseball, looking at second. Now he's going to step off the rubber as Andrus was dancing off the second base bag there. Playing behind him was the shortstop Austin Piscotti, getting his first start of this series. Now Piscotti at short puts on a set of signs, tapping his forearms. So Strotman knows whether it's a pickoff play or not. 3-2 pitch. Fastball swung on and fouled back onto the rooftop. Count remains full.
These are the at-bats you want. Mark Kruger had a really good at-bat in the 9th when he just kept fouling off pitches, taking pitches, and finding ways to continue to increase the count. Those are the at-bats, Jordan, that you really want a player to have. They're seeing more pitches, they're getting more comfortable when that happens, and that's a good sign for a hitter like Mark Kruger.
Absolutely. The more pitches you see, they say, favors the batter. 3-2 pitch. Swung on, this one a little fly ball into left field, but it's carrying. It's going back there. It is off the base of the wall. The runners had to hold up to see if it was going to be caught, and so Andrus will reach third, hold there. Rainier will get to second, and it's a long single for Mark Kruger.
You have to like that, though. Opposite way, too. It's not like he was late on the ball pulling it. He actually got out there, early and was able to take it off into left field. So that's a very good sign that he's starting to maybe catch up on that fastball a little bit. Now you bring up Spencer Gothberg, who had a very good first game. A great situation here for Utah Valley to get a couple of runs here and get some momentum for a young pitcher in Caden Schmidt.
So now the corners will come in, and that ball is just more evidence of how the baseball is really flying today, carrying well here at Brent Brown. That ball just kept going and going. Here's the pitch. Gothberg takes a ball low and away. It's 1-0. Nobody out. Bases loaded. 1-0. St. Mary's leads, and here comes Coach Valenzuela to have a chat with his Gales with a 1-0 count to Gothberg. I always think it's interesting in this series, Valenzuela has come out in the middle of at-bats. Every time. Has never come out when in between hitters or when you normally see pitchers come or coaches come out to have a visit. Back to that fly ball off the bat, that single off from Kruger, that should have scored 2 runs, but the runner smartly had to stay put because giving chase was Connor Hornsby, and it looked like he may get to it. He just missed it. He was maybe 3 or 4 feet behind it when it finally hit the base of the wall, but he gave a nice effort, and so that held up the runners and even put his glove out there and kind of deked Andrus and Seth Rainier.
That's not the time. I mean, you don't want to take that kind of a risk in the first with potentially having the bases loaded. I mean, in that case, he doesn't catch the ball, but you have to ask yourself, well, what if he does? And you have a chance for a double or triple play.
1-0 pitch coming. Gothberg takes it in the dirt. A nice stop there by Thorson, getting the start behind home plate here in the game 2 of the doubleheader.
The only thing I can figure out by getting the visits in the middle of the counts is there's something that he keeps seeing that he wants to go out immediately and get it to stop.
Corner infield playing in, double play depth for second and shortstop. 2-0 pitch to Gothberg. That one swung on, chopper over the first baseman's head into shallow right field. 1 run will come in to score. Here comes the second. Here's the throw, not cut off. He slides. He's safe. Seth Rainier comes in, and it's 2-1 Wolverines. They have their first lead of the series. 2 RBI single for Spencer Gothberg.
Spencer Gothberg really starting to just heat up, and that's really what Utah Valley needs right now. They need somebody when the offense is struggling, somebody to say, okay, I'm going to step up and I'm going to be that offensive leader and get some runs on the board, and that's a big help. And now if you're Caden Schmidt, you're going to be going back out there with the lead, and you kind of pitch a little bit differently when you have the lead compared to when you don't have the lead.
Here is Tate Harding, the designated hitter, right-handed hitter. Pitch, fastball, down low, misses 1-0. So Kruger advanced to third on the chopper over the head of Colin Ferguson at first base. At first base is Spencer Gothberg. That's just a kind of a break the Wolverines finally catch there. Not a hard hit ball, but just well placed. A high hopper into the outfield. 1-0 pitch. Will not happen as stepping off the old look to third, throw to first move by Stroutman.
So that one always gets me because it seems like to me the minute he looks at first, if I'm the runner at first, I'm heading right back to the bag.
1-0 pitch, a chopper up the middle. This could be 2. Playing the candy hop is Kirtley over to Piscotti, and they'll just get the runner at second. Couldn't get him out at first base, so coming in to score is Mark Kruger, and there's still that's the first out of the inning. So an RBI for Tate Harding on the fielder's choice.
Looked like to me on the chopper there, but the second baseman and shortstop both having to make a decision as to what was going to happen. It looks like Piscotti just kind of got in Kirtley's way, and that kind of held Kirtley from being able to throw down to first.
Here's Jordan Schleihuber. Fastball, strike 1 on the outside corner. So 3-1, the Wolverines leading. And that's such a confidence boost and gives you energy as a pitcher, as Caden Schmidt will head out there back in the second with a lead after giving up a run in the first. The pitch, fastball, misses away, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike.
We haven't seen the pitching staff really for St. Mary's struggle up much this series. They gave up the 9 runs, but they've been doing it with the lead. So, it's a little bit different situation now when you have to play from behind.
Throw over to first base. Back in is Harding. Man on, a man out here in the bottom of the first. 3-1 Wolverines. Schlehuber, the right-handed hitter, crowding the plate, bent at the knees. From the stretch, Strotman throws. Now a little slower roller to short. Going to second is Piscotti on to first. Safe at first base. So they cannot complete the double play. Another fielder's choice as Harding is retired from the base paths. 2 away. And here comes Andy Perkins getting the start here for the Wolverines. Perkins getting the start in left for Utah Valley, the left-handed hitter. He had an at-bat in the first game of this series on Friday night. That's last night. And he couldn't come up with a base hit, so 0 for 1 in this series. The pitch to him swung on and fouled back to the screen. He was behind a fastball there. Strotman laboring here in the bottom of the first. This is the 7th man to come to the plate in the inning for the Wolverines. The pitch to him, 0-1, fastball, just catches the outside corner.
Fisk playing Perkins to go the opposite way. There's a nice big hole out in right center if Perkins could line one out there.
The outfield playing shallow. Infield, double play depth. Runner held on at first. There's a little jam shot. Coming in to field it is Villa at third base. To his left, throws to first, and the inning is over. But not before the Wolverines get 3 runs. On 3 hits, they leave a man stranded. We head to the top of the second here at Brent Brown. Utah Valley leads the Gales 3-1. It'll be Anthony Gonsolin, Anthony Villa, and Jackson Thorson to lead things off for the Gales here in the top of the second. The Wolverines lead 3-1. You're listening to Utah Valley Baseball on the World Wide Web. How about that, Ryan? It's not just radio, it's worldwide. The pitch from Caden Schmidt gets away from Seth Rainier all the way to the backstop. Looks like a breaking ball that just slipped out of the hand, or stuck to the hand actually a little too long, and hit in front of home plate. 1 ball, no strikes to Gonsolin. Breaking ball, strike 1, a curveball that fell in there, a beauty. 1-1 now. Everybody straight away for the Wolverines. Outfield playing deep. Check swing. Did he go around and appeal to the first base umpire, Jared Ferens? He holds up the fist, says he did. 1 ball, 2 strikes on a pretty breaking ball from Caden Schmidt. One-two pitch. Swung on and missed. He struck him out. A high fastball at 90 miles an hour, changing the sight line there. And Gonsolin was way behind it. The first strikeout of the night for Schmidt. There's 1 away in the second.
You can kind of tell there, Caden Schmidt just kind of reared back and just let that one go. Went up maybe a mile or two above what he's been throwing so far and just blows it right past Gonsolin.
Here's Anthony Villa. What the Wolverines need here is a 1-2-3 inning. That is something that they have struggled with, to say the least, in this series. Bogdan playing almost directly behind second base, shaded way up the middle. First pitch misses. A fastball that is out of the strike zone. 1-0 to Anthony Villa. Jackson Thorson on deck. Villa, the right-handed hitter, bent at the knees, slightly open stance. That one swung on and hit into right field. Going back is Kruger, back into his life. That's going to one-hop the wall. Villa on his way to second. He'll stay put there as Kruger retrieves it and throws it in to the cutoff man. But in there with a one-out double is Villa.
Right there, that's just one that's just hit well right off the bat. And I really like what's going on now. You're going to see, Seth Rainier come out as a kind of a veteran leader on this team. Go tell Caden Schmidt, hey, it's okay. Don't worry, it's one hit. Now let's get ready to go after Thorson.
So here is Jackson Thorson, the power hitter. The Wolverine outfield will move very deep. The wind, a slight breeze blowing out towards center. Now Schmidt into his stretch. A man on, a man out. 3-1, Wolverines lead, top of the second. The pitch. Fastball, inside, 1-0. Thorson, the seventh place hitter. On deck is Prescotti in the hole, and batting ninth is Joey Fisk. The tying run here at the plate for the Gales early on in this ball game. Bogdan playing behind the runner at short. The pitch. Fastball just missed offside and maybe a little above the belt, and it's 2-0. So this is where the Wolverines have had trouble all series long, being consistent defensively and especially pitching. Gonsolin struck out to begin this inning. Now Schmidt gave up a double to Villa and has fallen behind. 2-0 to Thorson. The pitch. 3-0. Fastball missed way wide, not close. And it's 3 balls, no strikes. St. Mary's bench making some noise down there.
This becomes a very key pitch here. This 3-0 pitch. Thorson likely to take, but sometimes they do, pull the green light, but typically not going to happen. And so this is going to be a pitch where Caden Schmidt should have a good opportunity to hit the middle of the strike zone.
Usually this early in the ball game, you don't say it's such a key moment, but it really is when you take into account the last 2 games the Wolverines have played. 3-0 pitch misses up high. He walked him. 4 straight balls to Jackson Thorson, and he may have been being careful with Thorson there with a base open, but here comes Dave Carter to have a talk with Caden Schmidt as Austin Prescotti comes to the mound. Schmidt, the 6'2", 190-pound freshman out of Shelley, Idaho. Not a lot of experience, and now he's in a jam after giving up 1 run on a home run in the first inning, then recovering nicely. He began this inning striking out Anthony Gonsolin, but then gave up the double to Villa and the walk to Thorson. So here we go. Here's Prescotti hitting from the right side. 3-1, Wolverines lead, top of the second inning. The entire diamond in the sunshine as the sun will set behind the right field grandstand here, and in just about an inning or so the shade will creep over home plate and make it hard for the hitters to see. Ball misses away in the dirt. Sliding over and making a nice stop was Seth Rainier, who's started the first 2 games of this series in center field, getting the start behind the plate today, giving Atkinson the afternoon off, or rather the evening off, I should say. 1 ball, no strikes. The runners at first and second, short leads. Here's the pitch. Fastball, caught the inside corner, strike 1. So after 5 straight balls thrown by Schmidt, he finds the strike zone and evens the count. Thorson on first. Villa on second base. One man out here in the top of the second. And Andrus in center field, shading to the left. 1-1 pitch, swung on, this one driven, line drive into left field, but right at the left fielder Perkins. He makes the play, and they're 2 away. The runners stay put where they were, so that ball hit fairly hard, but luckily right at Andy Perkins.
Yeah, I mean, and you'll take that there. I mean, you got an opportunity there after the double and the walk. You can step back in now. Now you can build on that confidence. Okay, I got this guy out. 2 away. Let's go get Fisk and end this inning. And that's got to be the big thing as a pitcher, is making sure you stay, mentally there and just get going.
Joey Fisk, the 9th-place hitter, hitting from the right side. Waiting on deck is the top of the order in Brett Rosso. So this is a big hitter for Caden Schmidt. Does not want the lineup to turn over here in the second. 2 men on, 2 men out. Playing a little in at third base is Schlehuber, just in front of the bag as a breaking ball misses outside. It's 1 ball, no strikes to Fisk.
And again, you'd like to see if you can get Caden Schmidt to go, 5-6 today. Take some pressure off your bullpen here coming into the final game of the series tomorrow afternoon.
From the stretch, Schmidt peers in, checks the runner at second base. Set at the belt. Now comes home. 1-0 in the dirt. Gets away from Ryanier, though, still in the batter's area. In the dirt, did a nice job to recover, and the runners have to stay put at first and second. 2 balls, no strikes, though. Now to Joey Fisk. Schmidt taking his time out there on the mound, being very deliberate. Now comes set, the 2-0 on its way. Swing, chopper up the middle, coming over is Fuller. He steps on the bag, goes to first, and he got him. There were 2 outs, so I'm not sure if Fuller didn't catch the bag at second base. I don't think he did, and so he made a nice throw across his body to first to get the 3rd out. And St. Mary's leaves 2 stranded. A big out for the Wolverines early in this game. We head to the bottom of the second. UVU 3, St. Mary's 1.
Bottom half of the second inning getting ready to start here at Utah Valley. Wolverines 3, Gales 1.
Grayson Bogdan to lead things off, followed by Zach Fuller, then the top of the order for UVU, and Kate Andrus. Here's the pitch. That one swung on and fouled away off to the right side. 0-1 to the shortstop. Caden Schmidt did a nice job in the bottom, or rather the top half of the inning, to stifle a St. Mary's rally. 3-1 Wolverines. The pitch. Breaking ball misses off the plate. 1-1. And already, we haven't even been all the way through the order, but the Wolverines just look better at the plate right now, taking better at bats.
Yeah, they look a lot more comfortable, a little more confidence when they walk in the box. So that's a very good sign.
1-1 pitch is down low, and it's 2-1.
Yeah, and Grayson Bogdan's a guy, coming in hitting 171 into this at bat. It'd be really good to see him have a couple of hits in this one, going forward, because he's going to be one of those guys that's going to need to step up this year.
Check swing. Did he go around? He did, says first base umpire Jared Farron's on appeal from the home plate umpire Jeff Clough. And the count is even at 2-2 Drew Strotman, the righty on the mound from the windup. Swung on, a chopper to third, ranging to his left, coming up to it. Villa has it, reaching up, throws to first for the out. And there is one away in the second. A nice play by Anthony Villa, especially when you consider he's probably battling the sun over there at third. Had to range to his left and reach up to snare that baseball, but made the play. And here's Zach Fuller with nobody on and one down in the second.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about it last night. The next couple of hours, if you're playing left, short, third, and even probably center, you're going to have to battle that sun. It's going to be very interesting, and probably next inning you're going to see that home plate area covered in a shade as well.
Yeah, the shade creeping towards home plate as we speak. First pitch is a fastball in there for a strike. Breaking ball misses away, and it's 1-1 to Fuller. That shade we speak of is from the overhang on the grandstand on the right side, or on the first base side, I should say, here at Brent Brown. And it's just about to the left-handed hitter's batter's box. 1-1. That one swung on, base hit through the right side for Zach Fuller. Fielding it in right field is Gonsolin. Zach Fuller with a nice job there, just going the other way, going with the pitch, and the Wolverines have a man on with one out for the top of the order in Cade Andrus.
This is another good piece of hitting by Utah Valley, just making sure they just make contact with the baseball. Zach Fuller finds a hole. You can tell, Jordan, I love what you talked about, how their approach is different. You can just tell they've kind of put these couple losses behind him, and they said, okay, let's get back to playing baseball. And it's something they're going to have to do here in the next couple of weeks. You want to figure out all these things before whack play starts.
Here's the pitch to Andrus, misses away, a breaking ball down. 1 ball the count to Cade Andrus. Andrus led this ball game off back in the first inning, just an inning ago, with a single into left field. He eventually came around to score, along with 2 others. It was a 3-run first for the Wolverines. They lead 3-1 here in the bottom of the second. The pitch, fastball, strike 1 on the outside corner. Count even at 1-1. Colin Ferguson holding on. Fuller at first base. Andrus steps out and looks back to the dugout to Eric Matson for the signs. A man on, a man out. 1-1 pitch. Andrus swings, base hit up the middle into center field to the left of the bag. Fuller stumbles a bit coming around second. He'll stay put there. He wouldn't have tried to go for 3 anyway, as Joey Fisk came up and scooped that ball up in center. But another base hit, 2 consecutive 1-out hits for the Wolverines. And here's Seth Rainier.
You get that 9-1 spot, so key to getting on base when they come up, because you have an opportunity now. You got your 2-hole hitter in Seth Rainier, then you go into Kruger, Gothberg, Harding, the guys that have maybe a little more pop than the rest of your lineup. And if you can get those guys up with men on base, you're going to be able to score some runs, and that's going to be key for Utah Valley this year. They're going to have to find a way to score runs to support their pitching staff.
Here's the pitch. Breaking ball catches the outside corner, and it is strike 1 to Seth Rainier. As I look down at the bullpen, if we can see his number down there, righty getting warm for the Gales. And Ryan tells me it is Hunter Smith down there getting ready. 2 men on, 1 man out. The pin, now a bunt down the third base line, and it's a beauty by Rainier. He's hustling to first. The throw, not in time. Villa charged from third base, made a nice play, but Seth Rainier has some good speed up the line, and he beats it out.
Yeah, just like a perfect bump put in that right location where Villa has to either charge or Thorson, the catcher or the pitcher, has to get there. And when you have good wheels like Rainier does, that makes it for almost a perfect bunt in the right location.
You said it, just a beautifully placed bunt down that third base line. And here is what you want if you're the Wolverines. Mark Kruger up with the bases loaded. Righty on lefty matchup. 1 out in the inning. The pitch. Down and in. 1 ball, no strikes to Kruger. Kruger, his average on the year coming into this ball game is what is only 190, but it was at 170 yesterday. So that tells you how many at-bats he's had and how many hits he's had today. 1-0 pitch. That one swung on and missed. Kruger went after that one. A fastball up in the zone, and he couldn't quite get there. 1 ball, 1 strike to him. 3-1, the Wolverines leading, and they want to add on a lot. They've seen how this St. Mary's ball club can hit the baseball in the first 2 games of this 4-game set. 1-1 pitch to Kruger, down low, 2-1. So Strotman does not want to go 3-1 with the bases loaded. He's going to have to come in here to Mark Kruger. Waiting on deck is Spencer Gothberg. Strotman from the stretch with the bases loaded. Throws. Fastball swung on. He popped it up. Fairly shallow left center field. Tagging at third base, though. And scoring, standing up, is Zach Fuller. And it's 4-1 Wolverines. That one was shallow to really middle depth left center field. And St. Mary's deciding to cut that ball off, wisely doing so. Keeping the runners at first and second, they surrender the run on the sacrifice fly. And Mark Kruger picks up an RBI.
And those are doing those things, and sometimes it's easy as a hitter to get up there and think, okay, bases loaded, I want to hit a grand slam, or I want to clear the bases with a double in the gap. I mean, with 1 out like that, a sacrifice fly gets the run home, and that's the important thing there. You just got to do the simple things sometimes to get the run in.
So now 2 men on with 2 out for Spencer Gothberg. Pitch to him. Breaking ball misses away, 1-0. So Drew Strotman has really had trouble today commanding his pitches and getting ahead in counts. And that shade moving quickly across toward home plate. It's almost at home plate. The left-handed batter's box in the shade now. That one swung on and he popped him up. Behind home plate, giving chase is the catcher Thorson. Thorson to the wall. It's just onto the net and out of play. And so Gothberg gets another shot. Not a ton of room behind home plate here at Brent Brown Ballpark. Very hitter-friendly park here in Orem. One ball, 1 strike. The count to the right-handed hitting first baseman. Rainier at first. Andrus at second. Both with good-sized leads. Breaking ball misses away. 2-1. The second baseman, Kirtley, playing close to second base, puts on the signs so Strotman knows what the pickoff play is. 4-1 Wolverines, bottom of the second, 2 out. Swing and a miss on a 2-1 fastball up in the zone. And they say foul tipped it into the glove of Thorson. No matter. The ball's 2-2, I should say. The strike, or rather the count, I beg your pardon, is 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2 outs, 2 men on. Deuces are wild. Here we go. Swing and a ground ball to the shortstop. Piscotti, he underhands it to the second baseman. Kirtley covering the bag, and the inning is over. But the Wolverines tack on another run. They lead it 4-1 on 2 hits. They lead, or rather on 3 hits, they score 1, leave 2, or rather after the putout, 1 on the base paths. We head to the top of the third. 4-1 Wolverines. Utah Valley leads St. Mary's 4-1 as we head to the third inning. Back out on the mound is Caden Schmidt. He will face the top of the St. Mary's order. It'll be Brett Rosso, Zach Kirtley, and Colin Ferguson. And it is my great pleasure to give you Ryan Pickens.
Thank you, Jordan, for that kind introduction there. As the top of
Anytime, Ryan. Anytime.
The top of the St. Mary's lineup coming up as Brett Rosso's and Caden Schmidt delivers, and the first pitch is a fastball away, and it's 1 and no strikes to Brett Rosso.
We were talking a little bit in between innings how important it is for the Wolverines to get ahead here as they lead 4-1 because the shadows we've been talking about creeping towards home plate, and now the shadow is almost to the right-handed hitter's batter's box, and as soon as it crosses there, it's going to become very difficult for hitters to see the baseball coming out of the sun.
Yeah, it is, and right there, that fastball comes in, and you can just tell, the pitcher probably has the advantage, and so an opportunity to get up was big by Utah Valley here in the first couple of innings. The 1-1 pitch is that one swung on, hit into the gap. It's going to fall for a base hit. Rosso going to make the long turnaround first, and he's going to hold up with a single. And so St. Mary's gets the leadoff man on here in the third, and that's important. Rosso on the year, 4 for 5 in stolen base attempts coming in. And so definitely something to keep an eye on here as Rosso will probably look to go early on in the count as Zach Kirtley will come to the plate. Kirtley 1 for 1 tonight, including he had the home run that went up onto the berm in left field back in the first, the only St. Mary's run of the ball game.
So back into the stretch goes Schmidt, another somewhat stressful inning here.
And the first pitch hits the outside corner for a called strike. No balls and a strike. Rosso, Kirtley, Ferguson, 1, 2, 3 coming up here in the third. No action going in the St. Mary's pen anymore, so they might let Stroutman start the third inning. Schmidt takes a look over at first, keeping an eye on Rosso. Pickoff move, and that throws back, but back underneath the tag is Rosso. Rosso stole, I want to say, something like 3 bases in the first game. Every time it seemed like he got on, he was looking to steal. No balls and a strike. Schmidt ready to go, and there's a fastball. There's a snap throw by Rainier to first, and just underneath the tag. As they're going to say, looks like the ball just kind of came out at the end, and back underneath it was Rosso. He definitely seems like he's itching for second. Schmidt set from the stretch. Pickoff move again, and back safely is Rosso. Rosso's looked to play well as Kirtley stands in, gets the sign over from third. Schmidt throws over, and back safely is Rosso. Rosso 1 for 2. Kirtley comes into this at-bat hitting .383, 18 for his first 47, and back safely once again was Rosso. Kirtley, 9 RBIs, 1 home run on the year, 5 doubles for St. Mary's. 1 ball and 1 strike. Schmidt from the stretch looks in, gets the sign. The 1-1 pitch on its way. Is it going to be a bouncing ball past Fuller into right field? Fuller went to break to cover the base, and Kirkley went right into that hole. So Rosso will get down to third. Kirkley's on first with a single. Just one of those things that happen sometimes when you put the ball in motion, or put the play in motion, and right there, the hole is perfectly found by Kirkley. Now Colin Ferguson will come up to the plate with a couple of men on here in the third. Ferguson grounded out to second back in the first. Seth Rainier will give some signs out across to let everybody know how they're going to play it. In the first game today, St. Mary's did kind of try a similar steal situation where when Kirkley broke for second, Rosso broke for home after Kirkley kind of got caught in a rundown. We'll see here if this is something they might think about doing here again. Kirkley looks like he's going. And the pitch comes high for ball 1 to Colin Ferguson. Ferguson, number 32, the outfield. Mark Kruger playing like a step maybe off the warning track. Well, he's probably a couple of steps off the warning track, but pretty close.
Maybe.
1 ball and no strikes, the count. Schmidt ready. Okay, 1 step, I've been told. It's been confirmed as that one's fouled back and evens the count at 1-1.
I say that just because it's odd looking out there. He's almost against the wall, it seems like, and I looked through the binoculars. He's literally 1 step from the dirt. And you can't blame him. It's only 312 down the line, down the right field line. You have the power left-hander up here.
1 ball and 1 strike to count. Schmidt takes a long look into Seth Reinier behind home plate to get the sign pickoff move, and Kirkley dives safely back. It would seem natural, now watching the St. Mary's team for the 3rd time in a couple of days, to see where Wolverine pitchers might be a little more slowed down to try to slow down the timing of the run game. Pickoff move, Kirkley, I don't know, and he barely got back. It's getting closer and closer, and right now those runners at first, Caden Schmidt's got a pretty quick move.
I was just going to say, that's a great move. Kirkley this season, 1 for 3 in stolen base attempts. He's got to be careful over there. Gothberg doing a nice job holding him on.
1 ball and 1 strike. Kirkley turned a little bit towards second, like he's ready to go at any time. He's going to act like he's going to go and then stop as the pitch comes low to Ferguson. Seth Reinier has been known to throw down to first, but it's going to be a little bit more difficult here to do that from the catcher spot with Colin Ferguson behind home plate. That's going to be, or in the left-handed batter's box, that's going to be a little bit more difficult. Schmidt takes a look over at Kirkley at first. Bouncing down the line is Rosso, and that one is tagged to right. Kruger back on the warning track, looks up, and goodbye baseball. A 3-run homer by Colin Ferguson, and we're tied at 4 here in the 3rd.
I now know why Kruger was playing near the track, Ryan. It's because Colin Ferguson can hit the baseball really far.
I think we need to move
far.
Move the fence back out to Wolverine Way on that one.
It wouldn't have mattered. Yeah, it was just. It's funny you say that fence could have been up there on University Parkway. It wouldn't have mattered. That ball was absolutely tattooed.
3-run shot, and we're locked at 4. So just like that, action now will get going down in the UVU bullpen. So we've talked about how maybe those baseballs are. Maybe either of these teams are not exactly the best at pitching, or both are very good offensively. As the first pitch to Hornsby is a ball, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. And Jordan, I haven't quite figured out yet if it's the baseball, if it's the high altitude, if it's the hit offense of both teams, or if it's the pitching.
Well, I think it's a combination of everything. I think Caden Schmidt made a mistake there, and the ball carries at this high altitude, and it carries even more with these baseballs that are supposed to travel further than the old ones did. And but I wouldn't put so much on the pitching necessarily, as I think these teams just can hit the ball. And that one right there, Colin Ferguson just can hit home runs. I mean, he's a power hitter.
As that one just sits off the corner for ball 2. 2 balls and a strike to Hornsby. There was.
And today, also, the sun's been shining. It's fairly warm. It's 55 degrees or so. I beg your pardon, out there. And last night it was cold. We didn't see any home runs.
As that slider goes away, it's ball 3. 3-1 the count now on the cleanup hitter Connor Hornsby. And I mean, you really think of it too. I mean, it wasn't too big of a shot. Kruger was 2 steps, 1 maybe 2 off the warning track, and so when he just kind of turned, you could tell that ball probably wasn't coming back. The 3-1 pitch hits the outside corner for called strike 2, and it's now the count runs full on Connor Hornsby.
That right-hander out in the bullpen for UVU is Logan Hold, getting warm.
3 balls and 2 strikes the count. The kick and the delivery on its way is low, ball 4. So Hornsby will get on first via the walk, and now all 4 hitters to come to the plate here in the 3rd have found their way on base. And that's going to bring up Anthony Gonsolin.
And I think there may be a pitching change made now. Eric Matson coming out has not made the call yet, or hasn't motioned, but there he does. So we will have a pitching change here, and that is it for Caden Schmidt. And I think that tells you, Ryan, how important this game is to UVU. It's 4-4. They do not want this one to get out of hand.
So we're going to take a quick break here on WolverineGreen.com. We're tied at 4. We'll come back and we'll introduce you to the new pitcher here on WolverineGreen.com.
Back here on WolverineGreen.com, the Wolverines and the Gales tied at 4 here. We're in the top of the third inning. 3 runs already in for the Gales off a Colin Ferguson 3-run home run. New pitcher on for Utah Valley. It's the right-hander Logan Hold, 6 foot, 185-pound sophomore out of Las Vegas. Attended Shadow Ridge High School down there. He will face Anthony Gonsolin with a runner on first base. This is his 7th appearance on the season. Hold has a .476 earned run average. He's pitched 5 2/3 innings, and opponents are hitting .263, and Hold will try to do just that.
As Hold throws over to first, and back underneath the tag is Hornsby running over at first after the walk. So definitely some long relief duty coming here for Logan Hold, looking to probably get, I would think, a couple of innings at least out of him. Hold delivers, the bunt showed, and pulled back for a called strike. And it snowballs and a strike to Anthony Gonsolin. No balls and a strike. Gonsolin will step back in the batter's box, heading from the right side. A little bit of a slight open stance for Gonsolin. No balls and a strike. Hold set from the stretch and delivers home, and that one's going to be in there at the knees, and it's called strike 0-2. So Hold just kind of took something off that there and drops it in there. Gets it, gets the called strike, and now has Gonsolin down, no balls and 2 strikes. Runner getting his lead over at first is Hornsby. The 0-2 pitch on its way, and that one's going to go. Hornsby's breaking for second. The throwdown is it in time, and they got him. Kind of a delayed call there, but Zach Fuller gets over to the bag in time to lay the tag on Hornsby, and there's one away.
Well, they should have got him. It was a pitch out, and Rainier came up and just threw. It wasn't a great throw. He threw it, and reaching across his body, was it Fuller covering the bag there, and had to reach across his body to make the catch and reach back to make the tag, and Fuller did a nice job to get the runner.
1-2 pitch home. Gonsolin takes as that one's blocked by Rainier in the dirt, and it evens the count at 2-2.
And Ryan, I don't think you can overstate the importance of that caught stealing. It's only the first out of the inning, and now the bases are empty, and gives the Logan Hold, the pitcher, a little room, it feels like, just to work with.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Hold looking in, gets the sign from Seth Rainier. Kruger playing more out towards the right center field gap, and the 2-2 pitch comes. Gonsolin pops one up, giving it a quick look as Gothberg, but that's going to go foul, and we'll redo the 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes the count on Gonsolin. Hold gets the sign, comes set, and delivers home, and that's a fastball that just misses low, and the count goes full 3-2. Anthony Villa waiting on deck for St. Mary's. This is game 3 of a 4-game series that will end tomorrow. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Hold, set, and delivers home, and that's, I guess, high for ball 4, and Anthony Gonsolin's on here in the third. And now it's going to bring up Anthony Villa. St. Mary's has 3 Anthonys in the starting lineup today in this game 2, as Villa will come in. Villa hit a big double in the second inning that's got the first run, and then got stranded on the base paths. A lot of room out there in center to right field as Kate Andrus is playing more towards center. And the pitch, Villa swings, hits that one to right. Kruger's going to have a long run if he's going to get there. And it's going to be foul. No balls and a strike to Anthony Villa, the junior from San Ramon, California, and San Ramon Valley High School. Grayson Bogdan playing up the middle. Pickoff move, diving back safely is Goslin. Logan Hold with a pretty quick move to first himself. 3 runs in on 3 hits here in the inning for St. Mary's. And the 0-1 pitch as Schmidt will throw back over. Gonsolin back underneath the tag safely. Oh, and 1 the count. Schmidt taking a long look in, Logan Hold taking a long look in to Rainier. And now Rainier will call time and will head out to the mound.
You know, it's good having Rainier back behind home plate. Not that Atkinson isn't a terrific catcher, he is. But Rainier has experience from last year being behind home plate, and Logan Hold, a young kid out there with a runner on. Rainier can go out there and settle him down a little bit. You know what? Just make your pitches, hit your spots.
0-1 pitch on its way, and that one's going to blanket the outside corner for a called strike. No balls and 2 strikes. You know, one thing, Jordan, that a lot of people might overlook from this UVU team is this is a team that has a lot of sophomores and freshmen. They don't have a ton of senior leadership on this team of guys who have been through it, and this is only their second year in the WAC, so they're kind of having to learn as they go in a sense. No balls and 2 strikes. Hold, sets, and delivers. That one's high and outside. Here's a snap throw to first, and back underneath the tag is Gonsolin.
Clint Berge, our sports information director, does a terrific job of putting together our packet of notes. And on there, I can tell you right now, you made a great point. On this baseball team, there are 4 seniors, 13 juniors, 5 sophomores, and 13 freshmen. So an excellent point, Ryan.
The pitch comes in, Villa swings and fouls it back. We'll redo the 1-2. And so when you have that kind of a young team, you really need somebody to step up, and especially when you have a freshman pitcher out there, or sometimes a sophomore who's redshirted, who didn't necessarily come in the game. You need that guy behind the plate sometimes that can go out and say, hey, it's okay, don't worry, let's just hit your pitches. And sometimes Jake Atkinson does a great job behind the plate, but sometimes that senior leadership is a big help. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count after a couple throw over to first to get Goslin back.
Yeah, Rainier has a few years under his belt. He's a junior.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Hold, set, and delivers home. Pitch out, throwing down Rainier, and he's not going to get him. As the ball is going to get into center field, Gonsolin will make the turn, head to third. The throw in from Kate Andrus is off, and getting down to third will be Gonsolin.
That's a huge, I don't know, we'll see if they give it an error or not as that ball rolled into center field. It is an error. on Seth Rainier there, a wild throw. But that's a huge 90 feet with only one out in the inning. Now you no longer need a hit to get that man home.
2 balls and 2 strikes, the count to Villa. Villa's found a way here to produce some runs here in the series, hitting .306. He has 10 RBIs to this point. And he takes a called strike 3 on the outside corner.
Villa didn't like the call, but a beauty from Logan Hold right there, just catching the outside corner. It may have been an inch off the plate. It's hard to tell, but that is a beautiful breaking ball.
And maybe a little bit of a delayed call by Jeff Clough behind home plate, but
huge out as well.
At the end of the day, it was sitting right there on the outside corner. So here comes Jackson Thorson, the catcher behind home plate, and the pitch comes and he lines one out to right. Kruger trying to get there. He won't. It's going to go to the wall. Thorson rounds first. He'll head into second. Gonsolin comes in easily from third, and St. Mary's has regained the lead at 5-4 with 4 runs here in the third inning.
And that energy you talked about a little earlier, Ryan, just kind of seeps out of this crowd, and what you hear down there cheering is the St. Mary's bench.
Some action going now down in the St. Mary's pen. I'm not sure. That might be just their starting pitcher getting some work in. And it is. That's Stroutman down there in the pen, just probably keeping his arm somewhat warm. As Anthony Piscotti stands in and takes the first pitch, a breaking ball that settles in the middle of the plate for a called strike, a no balls and a strike. Piscotti comes in 0 for his first 13, does have an RBI on the season. So he's looking for that first base knock of the year for St. Mary's. 5-4 Gales lead it, top of the third. And that one sits off the outside corner for a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. And Jordan, you talked about it a little bit in the bottom of the second inning, but now you get the pitcher's mound in sun, the whole batter's circle now, the whole area around home plate now completely covered in shade. So you're hitting a baseball coming out of light into darkness.
Yeah, very tough to do.
1 ball and 1 strike. The pitch home is going to be on the outside corner for a delayed call, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes to count on Anthony Piscotti.
That's why coming in to the inning, the Wolverines having a 4-1 lead was such an advantage. But now the Wolverines are on the other end of it, trailing by 1.
I'm sorry, I've been calling him Anthony. He's actually Austin Piscotti.
I didn't even notice.
I just looked at our stat broadcast and went, oh, wait a second, and looked at the roster and went, oh. So that evens the count at 2-2. So I am so sorry about that. As Austin Piscotti stands in.
The Piscottis are not going to be happy. You are going to receive a letter in the mail one of these days, Ryan.
2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs to Austin Piscotti. And that one swung out by Piscotti and hit out to right. It's going to go over towards the bullpen. Gothberg will watch it go foul. 2 balls and 2 strikes the count. Running on at second base is Jackson Thorson. Thorson gets his lead. No one really playing close to the bag, so no one really holding him on here. Top of the third, 4 runs in for St. Mary's. Logan Hold set, checks the runner, and delivers home. And that one's going to be grounded to third. Pass and off Schulenhuber's glove and into left field. Piscotti's going to make the round. He's got his first hit and second RBI of the season. So an RBI single for Austin Piscotti, and St. Mary's has extended their lead to 6-4 and will send the 9th man to the plate in the inning, Joey Fisk. Schulenhuber just couldn't quite get there. And just couldn't quite get there to make the play. So Fisk stands in from the right side with 2 outs, looking to try to extend this inning. Logan Hold trying to get out of it. Bunt showed, lays it down. It's going to go foul. You just kind of tell there with that Fisk had to kind of change his stance all of a sudden. I don't think he was expecting a breaking ball come. He was definitely sitting fastball and then had to kind of go, oh, wait a second, move the bat a little bit before he laid the bunt down. No balls and a strike. Fisk, a pretty squared stance out of Poway, California. 0-1 pitch on its way, and that's going to stay high for a ball as Fisk checked his swing but didn't go around. So count even at 1-1 with 2 down here in the top of the third inning. Stroutman getting loose once again in the St. Mary's bullpen.
Ryan, on the out-of-town scoreboard, looking quickly, Sacramento State is up 5-4 on UC Santa Barbara. That game in the bottom of the 8th. That's number 23, UC Santa Barbara.
And that one's going to stay low for a ball, 2 balls and a strike, and definitely be good. Sacramento State competing with them yesterday. I believe they won that game as well. I can't remember for sure. But just a good opportunity for the WAC to play some of these ranked teams and say, hey, there is some talented baseball in the WAC. And
well, Sacramento State's a great club. They already took 3 of 4 from Utah, Pac-12 team this season.
2 balls and a strike. That's a breaking ball that sits on the inside corner, evens the count at 2-2. Busy day here at UVU. Of course, the baseball game playing at 12 in the first game. And then also tonight, after the baseball game, the men's basketball team in action at the UCCU Center taking on
Bakersfield.
So 2 balls and 2 strikes the count to Fisk. Fisk grounded out to Zach Fuller to end the second inning. Holds set, checks the runner, and delivers home. And Fisk going to swing, hit that one out to left. Perkins coming in, and he's going to make a diving catch. Did he hold on? It looks like he did. Yes, he did. And that will end the third inning. But the damage is done for St. Mary's. They tally on 5. And we head to the bottom of the third. It's St. Mary's 6, UVU 4. You're watching UVU Baseball on WolverineGreen.com. Bottom half of the third, and the Wolverines coming up trailing 6-4 as Drew Stroutman takes the mound again for St. Mary's and looking to try to get back into it here. He's given up 4 runs throughout this ball game. Tate Harding, Jordan Schalenhuber, and Andy Perkins coming up here for the Wolverines as the first pitch is swung on and grounded right to short, or right to first, and Ferguson over to Stroutman, who touches the bag 1 away.
Well, a ground out there on the first pitch, but it'll be interesting to see how the Wolverines respond overall. They gave up 5 runs in the third after leading 4-1. They trail by 2 now, and I think this is an important inning for the Wolverines to just try and get 1 back or get a few base hits and get that attitude, get that, if you will, that swagger going.
As Jordan Schlehuber stands in and takes the first pitch inside for a ball, 1 ball and no strikes. Schlehuber, his first at bat, grounded into a fielder's choice, which actually ended the inning. Or no, he reached on a fielder's choice, sorry. And the 1-0 pitch, the breaking ball, it gets in at the knees, it evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Quickly, the 1-1 pitch on its way. another, it looks like, slider in there for a strike, and it's 1-2.
A few more scores on the out-of-town scoreboard. Nebraska-Omaha defeated North Dakota by a final of 8-5. North Dakota State is leading Northern Colorado 6-5. That game in the bottom of the 6th.
As a called strike 3 goes to Jordan Schlehuber, and he's down on strikes. And that's the second out of the inning, and that's going to bring up Andy Perkins.
That North Dakota-Nebraska-Omaha matchup, that is a doubleheader. Nebraska-Omaha leading game 2 of that one by a score of 6-0 in the bottom of the 6th. It looks like I'm looking at a few games that have been canceled. Northern Kentucky, New Mexico State, both those games canceled.
Andy Perkins swings and fouls the first pitch, foul down the left field line.
Grand Canyon defeated Tennessee earlier today by a score of 1-0, so a big win for a Western Athletic Conference team. Looking here,
Perkins swings and fouls that one down towards the bullpen, so he fouled a couple of pitches off, and he's now trailing in the count. No balls and 2 strikes. The Stroutman's one. They have 2 outs on the scoreboard. Yeah, there would be 2 outs, and he's 1 strike away. Stroutman is from getting out of the inning.
North Dakota State beat Northern Colorado 4-2 in game 2 of that, or in game 1, I beg your pardon, of that doubleheader.
The 0-2 pitch stays off the outside corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
UC Davis leading Seattle 3-1, that game in the top of the 6th. And Wagner and Bakersfield will play at 7 o'clock Mountain Time.
The 1-2 pitch, Perkins just kind of flips it into left field, and it's going to fall in front of Hornsby. So Andy Perkins is on here in the 3rd inning, and Utah Valley has some life that will send Grayson Bogdan to the plate.
Nice job by Andy Perkins to get things going, making his first start of the series this evening.
And now that's going to bring up Grayson Bogdan. Bogdan had, I want to say, kind of a rough game number 1 today. Bogdan ended up being 0 for 4, but did have a run scored. He struck out 3 times, so he's looking to try to end that streak. He grounded out, not a streak, but try to get on the positive side of one. He takes a fastball on the outside corner, no balls and a strike. Grayson, of course, always willing to talk to us pregame, let us know field conditions and things like that. So always nice when players take the time to talk with us just for a minute or so. Bogdan lines that one back up the middle, and it's fielded cleanly by Kirtley, and he makes the catch, and the 3rd inning comes to an end. So Utah Valley does get a hit, but they leave a man on at the end of 3 from Brent Brown Ballpark. St. Mary's 6, UVU 4, here on WolverineGreen.com.
This Tuesday, fans, Brigham Young comes in for a midweek game. That game will start at 6 p.m. It's the first of 3 games between Utah Valley and BYU this season. Plenty of good seats still available, so come out at 6 p.m. this Tuesday night for BYU UVU.
Well, it'll be an exciting and fun game. BYU beating Hartford earlier today to cap off their 4-game set, with Hartford coming out of, I believe, the American East Conference, or America East, something like that. As the first pitch to Rosso is grounded into short. Bogdan with the play, throw across the diamond in time, and there's 1 pitch and 1 out here to start the 4th inning.
Bogdan really showed off his cannon there. That was a nice play. Had to go into the hole a bit, a nice backhand, and then really unleashed the throw, a frozen rope right to Gothberg at first.
So with one away, Zach Kirtley will stand in. Kirtley 2 for 2 today, homered in the first, and then had a single. He's come around to score 2 of the 6 runs for the St. Mary's Gales today. And he takes the first pitch, fastball in at the knees, and snowballs on a strike. Kirkley on the year, 19 for his first 48, 9 RBIs, 1 home run, 6 walks. On base percentage, Jordan, of .473. Guy's finding his way on base. As Kirkley takes the 0-1 pitch, low for a ball, 1-1. Those are the sort of guys you want at the top of your lineup if you're St. Mary's. You're having a lot of success with Rosso and Kirkley here. Find ways to get on, and that helps fuel guys like Colin Ferguson, who's in the on-deck circle. The 1-1 pitch, a check swing, and they're going to say he went, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, Kirtley, a heck of a player, hitting .396. As you mentioned, a .473 on base percentage and a .563 slugging percentage.
Now, I'm not 100% familiar with all the statistics of baseball. So, like slugging percentage, how do they calculate that as the 1-2 pitch heads to the backstop and evens the count at 2-2? Do you know how they calculate that? We'll, while Jordan researches that for us here, give him a little homework assignment. Except we won't require, a 10-page paper or anything, just a short explanation. 2 balls and 2 strikes the count on Kirkley.
I thought I knew what it was. I didn't want to give any misinformation.
As Kirkley swings and tattoos that one to left. Perkins back on the warning track, jumps up and makes the catch. Up against the wall. I thought that one was gone at first, but Perkins able to just make an acrobatic catch up against the wall and just leaps and comes away with it.
Phenomenal from Andy Perkins out there on the left. He went back, felt the wall, knew where he was, had his right hand, that bare hand against the wall, and then leaped and made the backhanded grab in the air. It wouldn't have been a home run, but it certainly would have been extra bases. Wow, nice play from Andy Perkins. That may earn him some extra playing time out there. Now back to the slugging percentage.
Okay.
I was correct in what I thought it was. It's total bases divided by at-bats. So I won't give you the entire theorem, but it's quite a stat. Now, you tell me, Ryan, what is, for instance, up there now? What is Colin Ferguson's WAR? Do you have that on file?
I don't. Well, 1-0 pitch on its way is low for a ball, and it's 2 balls and no strikes.
Or is it BABIP? Is it batting average on balls in play?
Something like that. I mean, I don't know. There's been a few of those more kind of recent ones that I don't remember growing up as a kid that they kept track of, that they started keeping track of now.
No, those are the sabermetric stats that really are very actually fascinating, tell you a lot.
As Ferguson takes ball 3 balls and no strikes. Have to kind of think here, maybe a little bit here if Holt isn't maybe trying to work around Ferguson a little bit after he hit the 3-run homer in the 3rd inning.
With the base is empty, I don't know. Yeah, you're right. I don't know if he's working around it, but he's certainly being very, very cautious.
Ferguson in the box at 6'2", 216, takes ball 4. And so that was going to bring up Connor Hornsby, number 20. Hornsby walked and is flown out to center. So not a bad walk there, really. If you take it, if you don't love walks as a coach, but when you have a guy like Ferguson who can hit him out with the best of them, not a bad walk. Nobody on base, put him on.
Not a bad one, but I think if you asked Coach Dave Carter, you'd still rather go after him and not giving up a home run, but give up a base hit rather than just putting him on at this level. I think it's a little different when you get up to the big leagues, but.
And the pitch is in there to Hornsby on the slider, and probably given the situation too, 6-4 game in the 4th, you're probably not as of gonna go, hey, we can still go at him, it's okay, compared to 9-8 game in the 9th when.
Exactly.
No balls and a strike. Hornsby, open stance in the batter's box. Everyone playing pretty straight away as the pitch breaks off the plate for a ball and evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Gonsolin in the on-deck circle as the Gales lead this one 6-4 in the top of the 4th inning. Hold gets the sign from Rainier. And delivers home the 1-1 pitch. And that's going to be bounced over to first. Gothberg's going to take it himself. And he touches first base. And the fourth inning is going to come to an end. So the walk yields nothing for St. Mary's. We head to the bottom of the fourth inning. St. Mary's 6, Utah Valley 4. You're watching Utah Valley Baseball on WolverineGreen.com. Bottom half of the fourth inning here on WolverineGreen.com. Be 9-1-2. Zach Fuller, Cade Andrus, and Seth Rainier coming up here for the Wolverines, who trail it by 2 as Drew Strootman goes back to work here in the fourth. He had a pretty labor-free third inning after only giving up the single. Was able to quickly get Grayson Bogdan to line out to end the inning. So Fuller 1 for 1, singled and came around to score the lone run in the second, and he takes a fastball at the knees, and it's no balls and a strike, and we're back underway here in the bottom of the fourth. It begins to cool off a little bit here at the ballpark. No balls and a strike, and the delivery comes home, and that one's lined to center. Going back on it is Fisk, and he gets back and makes the catch, and there's one away. So just a pretty routine fly ball there by Zach Fuller, and that's going to send it back to the top of the lineup. Here comes Cade Andrus. Andrus has singled twice tonight, came around to score back in the first. Andrus came into the game hitting .222. With those couple of hits tonight, moved his average up to .255. And the first pitch on its way home to Andrus is swung on and fouled straight back to the screen. So no balls and one strike as Andrus will get ready to come back in the batter's box. Game 4 tomorrow at noon, first pitch once again, so some more day baseball for you. The 0-1 pitch, Andrus swings and pops that one up. Going to give it a look is Ferguson, but that one's going to go foul and be no balls and 2 strikes. Tomorrow's pitching matchup, I want to say Patrick Wolf for UVU, and he'll be opposed by, I believe it's Cameron Neff for the Gales of St. Mary's. So that one comes in the dirt, and good block by Thorson behind home plate, evens the count at 1-2. Wolf coming in with a 1-1 record. Cameron Neff 0-2. Neff with a 3.38 ERA. So both pitchers got a low earned run average, so it should be a good pitching matchup for the final game of that 4-game series. The 1-2 pitch. That one swung on past the diving third baseman Villa into left field. Andrus going to make the turn. He's going to go for 2. Here comes the throw. Andrus is in underneath the tag, and Cade Andrus has his 3rd hit of the ball game.
Nice hustle from Cade Andrus right out of the box. That ground ball caromed off the glove of Anthony Villa and into left field, so it took a funky hop there for the left fielder Connor Hornsby coming in, and that is a big 90 feet getting from first to second base there for Andrus with 1 out in the inning.
So now with 1 out, it's going to be Seth Rainier. Rainier was hit by a pitch, came around to score, and then he also had a single and then was retired on the base paths. So Stroutman takes a look at second, delivers home, and the first pitch is again with the fastball, no balls and a strike. Stroutman started most of the hitters off first pitch fastball. then kind of mixes in those breaking balls as he goes. But some action now beginning to throw down in the St. Mary's bullpen. Looks like number 30 again for the Gales. Stroutman takes a look in and delivers home, and that's going to be a breaking ball that just doesn't break back over the plate. It's a ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, Hunter Smith back out there getting warm down the right field line in the Gales bullpen.
So 1 ball and 1 strike to count. Rainier's going to take a step out of the box, and now he'll be set ready to go. Working from the stretch, Stroutman ready to go and delivers home, and that one swung on and missed by Rainier. Andrus was, I don't want to say breaking for third, but he was just kind of leaning that way. Quickly had to then he slipped as well, so kind of had to get back and make sure he got to second base before Thorsten took a shot down at second. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count on Seth Rainier. Andrus gets his lead out at second. A big hole out in right center field. Fisk playing more towards left center. That's a line right off the glove of Piscotti, and having to hold at short at second base is Andrus.
That ball was hit very hard. Nice at bat, I should say, by Seth Rainier. The center fielder, Joey Fisk, was playing Rainier perfectly in left center field. That's a testament to the scouting report. A great move there, whoever positioned Fisk in left center, because that should have been in the gap.
I think we will. We're going to have a pitching change here. St. Mary's is going to make a little call to the bullpen here. We're going to take a quick break here on WolverineGreen.com. When we come back, we'll introduce you to the new right-handed pitcher for the Gales here on WolverineGreen.com.
Back here on WolverineGreen.com, the Wolverines trail 6-4 in the bottom of the fourth. New pitcher on for St. Mary's. I mistakenly identified him as Hunter Smith. Of course, that's a Utah Valley pitcher. I was looking at just mistakenly looking at the wrong roster. The new pitcher on for St. Mary's is actually the right-hander Billy Oxford. Billy Oxford, 6'1", 185-pound freshman out of Peoria, Arizona. Went to Sunrise High School, or Sunrise Mountain High School, I should say. Oxford has pitched 30 1/3 innings this season. It'll be his fourth appearance. Given up 5 runs, all earned, walked 3. Hitters are hitting .333 against him. The right-hander will face Mark Kruger with Rainier at first base and Cade Andrus at second with 1 out here in the fourth.
So Mark Kruger stands in. Billy Oxford ready to go from the stretch. And he'll check the runner at second and deliver. And the first pitch to Mark Kruger is taken for a ball, 1 ball, no strikes. Oxford there watching his warm-up tosses. He kind of hides the ball in a sense. And then it just kind of all of a sudden comes on you. So something to keep an eye on here. Or maybe that's just the way it's looking to me. I don't know.
He has a good fastball. Will come with a slider and a change.
as that fastball gets in there at 91 miles an hour for a called strike. 1-1.
But you're right, he does. He keeps that ball hidden behind the right hip or next to his body so tightly for so long. That 91 mile an hour fastball seems to even get up on you even quicker.
Oxford set with the 1-1 pitch. That one swung out by Kruger, hit out to left, but it's going to be right at Hornsby, who's going to make the catch. And the second out of the inning's been recorded. So with 2 away, that's going to bring up Spencer Gothberg. And I don't know right now, Jordan, if there's a hotter bat in this Wolverine lineup than Spencer Gothberg.
No, he's swinging the bat really well. Had that 2 RBI single back in the first inning.
So Gothberg standing in, singled and scored, and then had an RBI and singled, had a 2-run single, and then a fielder's choice in the second.
Hitting .312 on the season.
And the first pitch to Gothberg is in there at the knees for a called strike 0-1. They put an error up while they were doing the pitching change on the scoreboard. I'm trying to think what they could have. I saw E6 go up, and I was trying to figure out if they gave an error to Piscotti on that line drive from Rainier, but that would have been an interesting decision, and no balls and 2 strikes, because that ball was just tattooed off the bat. No balls and 2 strikes, and it turns out they did change Seth Rainier's single to an E6, so kind of an interesting decision there.
Take it up with James Warnick, not me, Ryan. This is not my call.
I'm just thinking that ball was hit awfully hard, but at the end of the day, it's an error, and that ball stays away for a ball 1-2.
You know who's not going to argue with you? Drew Stratman. Yeah. The right-hander doesn't mind.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Delivery comes home, and Gothberg swings and misses. That one gets behind Thorson, and going down to first is Gothberg. So the strikeout pass ball ends up, well, maybe a wild pitch, as will result in Spencer Gothberg getting aboard here.
And with 2 outs, if you're St. Mary's, that just kills you.
And you bring up Tate Harding, who is a very dangerous right-handed hitting freshman who has hit a home run on the year. Not thinking that you want to think grand slam in this situation, but with 2 outs, a chance to, with just a single, to probably plate 2 runs, as Seth Rainier with good speed probably can score. As Harding swings through it and misses, and it's no balls and a strike. And just an interesting defensive alignment here. Fisk is playing more towards right center. There's an awful big hole out there in left center field if Harding was to get one out there into left center. 0-1 pitch, and Harding swings, hits that one right down the line, fair ball. That's going to score Andrus. Right behind him is Rainier. The question will be, they're bringing in Gothberg. Here comes the throw to the plate. Gothberg is safe, and UVU has the lead. A bases clearing double for Tate Harding as he went right down the line, just over the bag, and that will plate 3, and UVU has a 7-6 lead.
Have yourself a day, Tate Harding. That ball literally went right over the third base bag and rolled into the corner down there where the wall jets in foul territory, about 5 feet into foul territory, left of the 305 marker and the foul pole, and that ball just kind of caromed around down there like a billiards ball, and that allowed.
And that one's going to be hit out by Schalenhuber, and that one's caught out there by Hornsby. And the 4th inning will come to an end, but UVU's able to strike. They score 3, and at the end of 4, it's UVU 7 and St. Mary's 6 here on WolverineGreen.com. Top half of the 5th inning here on WolverineGreen.com. The bats are coming alive for both of these teams. 13 runs through the first 4 innings of the ball game. Ryan Pickens and Jordan Bianucci with you. And Jordan, I think we can both agree this has been a high-scoring game. Both bats are going. I had a fun 2 innings of calling 8 runs, Jordan. Now I'll give the next 2 over to you, buddy.
I appreciate it, Ryan. I hope we can get a quick inning here as Logan Holt heads back out there on the mound for UVU. 7-6, Wolverines leading, top of the 5th. First pitch breaking ball misses down low to Anthony Gonsolin. Gonsolin tonight, a strikeout in the 2nd, a walk in the 3rd inning, and he was actually the first man to face Holt. He came around to score in that 3rd inning. A 5-run 3rd for St. Mary's. That one fouled off, and it's 1-1. Following Gonsolin, it'll be Anthony Villa, Jackson Thorson, the catcher in the 7th spot. Playing about even with the bag at 3rd is Jordan Schleihuber, shading his eyes from that setting sun that really wreaks havoc on the left side of the diamond. Fastball misses off the plate away, and it's 2 balls, 1 strike. So Logan Holt working straight from the stretch here has one job, and that's just get a quick inning. Keep it a 1-run game. The Wolverines ahead 7-6. 2-1. Fastball just missed inside, and it's 3 balls, 1 strike.
Good hitters count here for Gonsolin. A chance he's probably going to get I would think, a pretty decent fastball. We'll see here what he does. 3-1.
Holt peering in, has the sign. Comes set, chest high. He throws. 3-1 pitch, misses outside. A fastball off the corner of the plate, and the leadoff hitter is on once again for St. Mary's, and not on via a base hit, a nice piece of hitting, but via a walk, and that hurts if you're the Wolverines. It's just, we've seen this all series long. The 3rd baseman, Schleihuber, will come in and have a word with Logan Holt. Holt, not a veteran out there. The freshman out of Vegas. I beg your pardon, the sophomore, as he throws over to first base. Anthony Villa, the right-handed hitter up there, waiting on hold. Villa, a 300 average. No home run, rather 2 home runs this season, 10 RBIs. Here's the pitch. Swing and a foul back to the screen. An interesting defensive alignment for the Wolverines against Villa. Playing directly behind second base is Grayson Bogdan, and when I say directly behind, maybe just a hair to the left, almost directly behind the bag. Playing well off the bag at 3rd toward the shortstop position, but it really in the hole, what Tony Gwynn would call the 5.5 hole over there on the left side, is Jordan Schleihuber against the right-handed hitting Villa. 0-1 pitch coming. He shows bunt, high and away. The pitch, a fastball. Seth Rainier bluffed as if to throw down to first base. Back in diving was Gonsolin.
It's interesting because even Kate Andrews out in center field is maybe a step or 2 to the right field side of the second base bag. And so there's a huge, that hole feels like left side of the infield's and left side of the outfield's completely open.
Gonsolin, who's 3 for 5 on stolen base attempts, held on by Gothberg. A throw over there. They got him! They picked him off. What a move by Logan Holt, and a big out here in the 5th inning.
You can just kind of see the resiliency coming in Utah Valley. They're just kind of like, well, okay, you're going to make plays. Great. We can make plays too. And that's something that's been missing the last couple of days, or these first couple of games of the series. It's been like, well, we're down. Oh, here it goes. And so, total different attitude.
Breaking ball. Oof. Just missed off the inside part of the plate. Pretty good pitch there. 2 balls, 1 strike, the count. As Holt steps off the mound, rubs up the baseball. And you see just the body language, the confidence being exuded by UVU as they gave up that 5-run 3rd and fell behind. They came back, not in the 4th inning, with a 3-run 4th of their own. Here's a fastball that catches the outside part of the plate, and it's 2-2 now. Base is empty, 7-6, the Wolverines leading St. Mary's. 1 out here in the 4th. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Hold, comes set. He throws. Swing and fouled back to the screen. Just getting a piece of it was Anthony Villa. Remember, fans, noontime start tomorrow for the final game of this 4-game set. The weather is supposed to be beautiful for a Sunday matinee. Come out to the yard. 2-2 pitch. Fastball, up and in, and the count runs full.
Should also remember, too, that clocks need to be changed tonight. So make sure that you make that correct change. You don't want to show up to the ballpark at the wrong time.
Glad you said that. I was not aware. That had slipped my mind. I may have not been here on time. 3-2 pitch. Breaking ball.
They're going to say
They say it hit him.
Yeah.
And now they're calling him out. And here comes Valenzuela. I believe they didn't say it hit him. They called it a strike, or that he didn't try and get out of the way. Because Villa was showing the home plate umpire his elbow, his pad there, and the home plate umpire, Jeff Clough, I beg your pardon, evidently gave Valenzuela a response he accepted, because he heads back to the dugout.
I'm not sure if that's strikeout or if that's...
And we'll find out what the official score. I believe it's a strikeout, but we'll see. Here's a little chopper back to the mound off the bat of Thorson. Taking it to first himself and underhanding it is Hold, and the inning is over. So the Wolverines do not give up any runs in the top of the 5th inning. They lead it 7-6 as we head to the bottom of the 5th here on WolverineGreen.com. It's the bottom of the 5th here at Brent Brown Ballpark. It's 7-6. Utah Valley leading St. Mary's. It'll be Andy Perkins, Grayson Bogdan, and Zach Fuller, 7, 8, 9 for the Wolverines here. Back out on the mound for St. Mary's, Billy Oxford. He came in relief. Of Drew Stratman, the starter. There's a fastball for a strike. Bluffing a bunt was Perkins. Perkins had a single in his last at bat. He's 1 for 2. Perkins made a terrific grab in left field up against the wall earlier in this ball game defensively.
As Perkins swings through and misses, that's no balls and 2 strikes to Andy Perkins. It will be Perkins, Bogdan, and Fuller. So no balls and 2 strikes as the fastball misses, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Had to consult the scoring booth next to us on that one. Thanks for picking me up, Brian. 1-2. The count. Breaking ball chopped foul and onto the berm that extends beyond the third base dugout and all the way to left center field here at Brent Brown Ballpark. The grassy berm. 1-2 the count. to Perkins. Working quickly is Oxford. From the windup, he throws. Fastball misses away, and it's 2-2. We were talking about that, or I was mentioning that great play back in the third inning. A ball that Joey Fisk shot out to left field against the wall, and Perkins leapt up and made a great grab. Here's a chopper to short, charging is Piscotti, underhands it, throws to first, and Perkins is retired. One away in the fifth for Grayson Bogdan.
It's one of those balls that Fisk hit out there that I was just kind of like, does that have enough on it? And he just went up and just made a fantastic play. I think my mind's still trying to process that one, but that's one I wish I could have seen a second or third time just to kind of get my full kind of head around that one.
Yeah, he didn't rob the home run, but he felt the wall and then leaped up vertically and made a nice play on it. It took away extra bases. The pitch to Bogdan swung on and foul tipped at home plate. Bogdan 0 for 2 today. He's lined out to the second baseman and bounced out to third. 7-6, Wolverines lead, bottom of the fifth inning. One out, nobody on. Pitch to Bogdan. Ball misses down low again. Nice stop behind home plate as that one was in the dirt by Thorson. And the count is even at 1-1. Grayson Bogdan, the right-handed hitting shortstop for Utah Valley. Hitting 163 this season. He is only, as a ball misses down low, 2-1. Only 7 for 43, so a slow start for Bogdan this year. 1 RBI, no home runs. Really trying to get that bat going in the 8-hole. Zach Fuller to follow. 2-1 pitch. Swung on. Here's a little looper, lining looper into right center field. It's going to fall, and it's going to roll all the way to the wall. Bogdan has some good speed. It's actually cut off on the warning track by Fisk. Bogdan heading for third. Here comes the throw. He's out at third base. What a cutoff and what a throw in shallow right field. I believe it was by Kirtley. And Bogdan gets thrown out trying to get to third base, and that's a cardinal sin you don't want to make. Or excuse me, not the cardinal sin. That is actually Bogdan taking a good chance there as I look at the outs now, making the second out at third. You never want to make the first or third out at third base, but trying to get there with one out, taking a calculated risk, and it took a perfect throw on the cutoff, and it got him. So a nice play there from St. Mary's all around. Here's a grounder to the right side. Kirtley has it, throws to first, and Fuller is retired. And just like that, the inning's over. So no hits, no runs, nobody left or rather, one hit, I beg your pardon. Nobody left, though, for the Wolverines as we head to the top of the sixth inning. Utah Valley leading by 1 run here. It's 7-6. You're listening to UVU Baseball on WolverineGreen.com. Top of the sixth inning here in Orem. Utah Valley leads St. Mary's 7-6. Bottom of the order for SMC, it'll be Austin Piscotti, Joey Fisk, and then top of the order, Brett Rosso. Back out on the mound for UVU is the right-hander Logan Hold, the sophomore. Defense playing straight away here to begin the sixth inning as the right-handed Piscotti steps in there. Piscotti only has had 14 at-bats this season. He bunts and misses, or rather attempts to bunt and misses the baseball. 0-1 to him. He's 1 for 14 this year. The 0-1 coming from Logan Hold, working straight from the stretch. The pitcher's mound barely in the sun. everything in front of that until the first base side is in the shade. Check swing. Did he go around and appeal to the first base umpire, Jared Ferentz? He did. So quickly 0-2 to Piscotti.
Talk about the performance of Logan Hold to come in and keep St. Mary's off, but also he's giving you that 2 or 3 innings that you really needed from somebody, so you don't have to go that deep, still having another game tomorrow.
Fastball off the plate outside. A nice thought from Piscotti a nice thought by Hold rather, trying to get Piscotti to chase, but a little too far outside, not tempting enough. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Everybody straight away defensively for the Wolverines. Bogdan just playing a step onto the outfield grass at shortstop. The pitch, check swing, that one outside, didn't go around, and it's 2-2. Joey Fisk, right-handed hitter, waiting on deck. It's been a good ball game, an offensive ball game. 7-6, Utah Valley with the lead. That one swung on and missed. He got him chasing on a breaking ball. Way out in front was Piscotti. A great pitch there from Logan Holt. One away.
Just a great way, especially after coming with the fastball, and then you just kind of drop that other pitch in there, and he was just way out in front of it.
So here is Fisk, who is 0 for 2. Reached on a fielder's choice. Well, actually, didn't reach. He ended the inning on a fielder's choice back in the second. Pitch to him. He shows bunt. Breaking ball. Misses outside. 1-0.
Nate Simmons, number 44 for St. Mary's, who I believe threw in the first game.
We did see Simmons.
Now getting warm again in the St. Mary's bullpen. Not sure if that's to come into the game or if that's just to maybe get some additional work in. But
1 ball, no strikes to count. The pitch. Showing bunt again. He popped it up. Back to the backstop. No one ever had a chance at it. Rainier looked back, but nothing but a strike. 1-1 the count now. Base is empty. 7-6. Wolverines leading the Gales in Game 3 of this 4-game set on a beautiful, cool evening here in Orem. The sun shining. Most of the diamond, as I mentioned, covered in sunshine just in front of the pitcher's mound. In the shade, that one swung on and fouled back to the screen by Fist. Count 1-2. Not a lot of traffic out there on University Parkway tonight on a Saturday night. As beyond center field and right field, you can see University Parkway going up the hill towards Provo and toward the Wasatch Mountains. Bunted at, you went around, strike 3. The second consecutive strikeout for Hold in the inning. And they're 2 away for Brett Rosso on the top of the order.
Just quite the performance for Logan Hold. I mean, just comes in, shuts the door down. And especially the other factor, too, Jordan, that you have to remember is it's not like you have 4 days off and you play again next weekend at Creighton. You do, but you have that midweek game against BYU. And you have that midweek game, so you have to kind of plan for that ahead. I mean, you do have about 4 or 5 days off, but guys who throw on Sunday might not be able to throw on Tuesday.
Here's Rosso. He takes the first pitch fastball for a strike. And you're right, so you want to think about, of course, coaches have a plan for that ball game, but you will not see a weekend starter most likely start that one. Fastball misses up high, and it's 1-1, and that's always that's kind of a shame for those midweek out-of-conference games against in-state teams that bring out a lot of fans. The community really gets excited for. You want to see the best against the best, but that's just the nature of the game. You want to save those weekend starters for especially conference games that are coming up, though UVU will head up to Omaha to face Creighton, a non-conference PO. This one's popped up into shallow center field. Coming in is Andrus. He will make the grab, and a quick 1-2-3 inning for the Wolverines. That's the second straight 1-2-3 inning, and they're getting into a groove out there. UVU leads the Gales. We head to the bottom of the 6th. The score 7-6. You're listening to Utah Valley Baseball on WolverineGreen.com.
bottom half of the 6th inning here on Wolverine.com. New pitcher for St. Mary's. They're going to go to the 5'11 junior from Concord, California, Nate Simmons, number 44. Simmons did throw in the first game, threw 1 inning of 1-hit baseball and 1 strikeout. To add to his total of the year, this will be his 6th appearance. He's now at 5 innings and 5 hits and 4 strikeouts, as I kind of had to do some math there on the fly.
Well done.
You can't trust my math sometimes, Jordan, you know. I'm sure you'll learn that
Hey, it's better
if you haven't already.
It's better than mine. First pitch, down low, 1-0 to Kate Andrus. Top of the order for Utah Valley. They lead at 7-6 over the Gales as we begin this 6th inning. Andrus is 3 for 3 tonight. A couple of singles and a double. The pitch to him swung on and fouled off down the right field line, out of play. Count is even at 1-1.
Utah Valley gets to go to Creighton, like you mentioned, next week. They get to play at the site of the College World Series.
That is a road trip I wish we could make. That will be a lot of fun. 1 ball, 1 strike. It's a pitch from Simmons. Fastball swung on and hit well in the left, but right at Hornsby, who doesn't even have to move to make the grab. That ball was hit well off the bat, but just died. So a little deceiving, at least from up here in the booth. 1 away in the 6th.
Yeah, just a line drive. There's been a couple of those balls tonight that, especially as it kind of cools down as we get into the evening, where off the bat they just look like they're going to fly. That maybe if they were hit at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, they're out of here. But instead they're just regular fly balls.
Here's Seth Rainier. The pitch to him swung on, a little chopper foul near the UVU dugout on the third base side. I think a lot of it is also you start to tell that I think that one may have just not off the hands, but not on the sweet spot for sure. And you can hear the difference with these bats. No balls, 1 strike, 1 out in the inning. Swung on and fouled away off to the right. 0-2 to Rainier. Mark Kruger waiting on deck. Wolverines leading by 1 here in the top of the 6th. Of course, they don't use the wood bats in college, and they used to use just the pure aluminum bats, but they've gone away from those in the last couple of years, and it's been great. It's really helped the game a lot. You have to square up balls now, much more than you used to, and it's more real. It's more like baseball is supposed to be played, as a ball misses in the dirt. 1-2 to Seth Rainier.
Yeah, I remember watching, college games as a kid growing up and seeing this guy just barely tap it and the ball goes out to right field for a base hit. And I'm just like, what?
Yep. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The pitch, swing and a miss. He struck him out. A breaking ball that stayed down in the zone and got Rainier chasing. So 2 away for Mark Kruger. And I think the sound system has stopped working, because in between innings they had no music, and right now they have no music. So right now it's kind of it's an old-timey feel, and I'm liking it, Ryan. I think it's pretty nice. Here's the pitch to Kruger, swing and a miss. He was out in front of a breaking ball. 0-1 to him.
I'd sing in between innings, but I'll bear the listeners at home and viewers for that.
No, yeah. Don't worry about it, Ryan. Don't worry about it. That's all right. 0-1 pitch. Down low around the ankles, and it's 1-1 to the left-handed hitting Kruger. Kruger, this ball game, is 1 for 2 with a sacrifice fly. Picked up an RBI in the second. Singled in the first and came around to score. In the old days, before they had the public address system, they would have different men in the stands, and here's a pitch to Kruger, fouls it away, left side. They would have guys in the stands with megaphones and be calling out the names of the hitters, and they'd be all around the stadium. So you'd have, technically speaking, a dozen public address announcers telling fans how to play. And just a couple of years ago, they did a throwback game at AT&T Park between the Giants and the Cubs as Kruger foul taps another one. Count remains at 1-2. And they stayed true to it, to the throwback, to the kind of 1920s type game. And they had no public address, just men in the stands in suits with the old-fashioned megaphones announcing the players as they came to the plate. 1-2 pitch. that ball in the dirt, and it gets away from the catcher, Jackson Thorson. So now the count even at 2-2, and Mark Kruger battling up there, trying to work this at bat. Nobody on, 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Well, even Jordan, I mean, back in the days of, radio broadcasts and that, we'd be in a studio and they'd go to the game, like write it down on paper and bring it back, and then we would just sit here in a studio and, just come up with it.
And we're not doing that right now at all. Line drive down the right field line. That's a base hit. It's going to roll into the corner. It caroms off the wall down there near the 312 marker. Heading into second with a head-first slide is Mark Kruger, and he has a 2-out double.
It's good to see Mark, going here in this game. He has a single and a run scored, the RBI sacrifice fly, and then now he gets that double down the line. It's good to see him get going like this. And, when you're a week and 10 days away from the start of conference play, that's what you want.
That's a huge hit because, as you mentioned earlier in this ball game, that brings up Spencer Gothberg, who is swinging the bat very well right now. So Mark puts himself in scoring position. The right fielder, Gonsolin, did a nice job to get to the ball and field it cleanly as it ricocheted off the wall down there near the Harley-Davidson sign. Gothberg, right-handed hitter, 2 outs. Kruger on second, 7-6, the Wolverines on top. Oxford from the stretch, he throws. Fastball in the dirt, 1-0. Kruger, not great speed, but he should score on a base hit. The outfield playing about average depth. The righty on the mound resting his glove on that left hip. Now comes set above the belt, the pitch in the dirt again, 2-0. And you can see Oxford was really rolling this inning and hitting his spots, but Mark Kruger battled and gave himself a pretty good at bat. And now Billy having a tough time finding the strike zone. Should Gothberg reach, it would be Tate Harding. 2 balls, no strikes. The pitch to Gothberg. Fastball in there for a strike, and it's 2-1. The outfield playing Gothberg to go the other way. So the left fielder way off the line, and there is a lot of space in left field should Spencer Gothberg be able to pull the baseball. 2-1 pitch on the way. Kruger with his lead at second. Swing, ground ball, fair down the right field line. That one will be cut off in foul territory by Gonsolin. Scoring easily is Kruger. Here comes the throw into second. Not in time. A RBI double for Spencer Gothberg, and it's 8-6 UVU.
That's a nice insurance run there for Logan Hold, and the rest of your bullpen that's going to come in here, unless Logan Hold's going to go the next 3 innings for you, but that's just a great insurance run. One swing of the bat for St. Mary's can't change the game, and that's just a huge clutch RBI there by Gothberg.
2 outs still in the inning. This rally has all come with 2 outs. First pitch to Tate Harding. Number 14 is fouled back and onto the rooftop, and it's 0-1. Harding really broke this game, brought the Wolverines back in the 4th inning with a 3-run double. That put UVU back on top after they trailed. A good-sized lead at second by Gothberg. The pitch down in the dirt. Nice stop by Thorson. Count even at 1-1. The lights have come on here at Brent Brown, although much of the field still bathed in sunshine as the sun sets here in Utah Valley. 1-1. The count, 8-6. Wolverines on top. Gothberg at second, 2 out. Oxford throws. Fastball misses away. And the count is 2 balls, 1 strike to Tate Harding. Should Harding reach, it'll be Jordan Schlehuber, right-handed hitter on deck. Harding hitting .262 on the season. 4 RBIs, no home runs. Oxford throws. Ball misses down and in, and it's 3-1.
Now you're in a good hitter's count here if you're Tate Harding, because there's a good chance you're going to go 3-1 fastball. If you can square that up, you could, with one swing of the bat, you could kind of open this one up a little bit.
Tate Harding, the 6'3", 200-pound freshman out of Pocatello, Idaho. He waits. Bent at the waist, bent at the knees. No batting gloves. He swings and pops this one into right field. Coming in is Gonsolin. It's going to fall. Coming in to score. Here's the throw. They're going to let it come through, but well scoring ahead of the throw and standing up is Gothberg. Now heading to second on the throw home is Harding. He's in there with a single, and he gets to second base on the throw, and it's 9-6 UVU. So a poor decision by Gonsolin in right field to try and get the runner at home. He never had a shot, and that allowed Harding to take second base.
I don't think Gothberg expected that ball to drop, because he's just kind of lightly trotting coming around third base, and then all of a sudden he just goes, oh, here comes the ball, I need to speed up, and then he sprints home to get there before the ball does.
First pitch hits Schlehuber in the back, and I could hear that one up here. That had to hurt. Now runners are on first and second, and things are getting quickly out of hand for St. Mary's as they get a righty hurrying up in the bullpen. And the infield will come in and have a talk here, maybe just stalling for time, as Andy Perkins comes up to the plate. Perkins 1 for 3 on the day, singled in the left field, back in the third. Left-handed hitter up there, getting his first start of this series. So 2 runs after 2 outs. The bases were empty with 2 outs in this inning, and then things got ugly for St. Mary's. It started with a Kruger double, followed by a Spencer Gothberg double, a single, now a hit by a pitch, and 2 runs are in with 2 men on. 2 outs. 9-6, Wolverines leading. That one, line drive, left field, fair ball! That one's going to carry him off the corner, off into foul territory. 1 run will come in to score. Heading to third on the play is Schlehuber, and in there with a double is Perkins. 10-6, Wolverines lead it.
And this is just the sort of game you want now, all of a sudden, to say, okay, offensively you're getting your confidence going, and you're understanding, hey, we can score, we can put runs up on the board, and that's going to be a big help going into tomorrow to the next couple of days.
Here's Grayson Bogdan.
The pitcher warming up down in the St. Mary's bullpen, number 31, Vince Brahman, a 6'4", 200-pound sophomore from Murrieta, California.
Big opportunity for Bogdan here against Oxford. He's struggling. The pitch. Bogdan takes a breaking ball low and away. Zach Fuller waits on deck. Should Bogdan reach? A 3-run rally, and it's not over, all coming with 2 outs here for the Wolverines in the 6th inning. But they know they need more. This St. Mary's offense has been alive in this series. The 1-0 pitch to Bogdan. The right-handed hitter takes one in the backside. And that's the second hit batsman of the inning by Billy Oxford. And he just doesn't know where the baseball's going right now. He's having a tough time. Now the bases are loaded, and the catcher, Thorson's going to go out and have a word. I can't imagine. He has to be stalling for Valenzuela, I beg your pardon, to come out, the coach for St. Mary's, and here he comes. There's going to be a pitching change, I believe. He has yet to make the move, allowing the righty to get maybe a few more tosses in down there, and still hasn't made the move yet. Now he does. So we'll have a righty coming in with the bases loaded here in the 6th inning with 2 outs. The batter will be Zach Fuller. We'll take a break here on WolverineGreen.com. The Wolverines lead it 10-6.
Bottom of the 6th inning here at Brent Brown Ballpark. A pitching change for the Gales of St. Mary's. They're going to go to number 31, Vince Brayman, a 6'4 sophomore from Murrieta, California. Played at Murrieta Vista. Or Vista Murrieta, sorry about that. As he comes in, the right-hander will make his appearance on the year. He's got a 3.37 ERA, 2 2/3 of an inning, 5 hits, 1 run, that which was earned, 2 walks, and 0 strikeouts. And he's going to get to face Zach Fuller with the bases loaded. And Jordan, Zach in this situation here, a chance to really, with a base hit or a ball in the gap, break this one wide open.
Big at bat here for the Wolverines. And you're absolutely right, Ryan. I feel like we've said that a lot, but there have been a lot of opportunities for the Wolverines. And here's Fuller, another one. Wolverines lead 10-6, but that is by no means a safe lead against this St. Mary's ball club. Bases loaded, 2 outs. The pitch to Fuller. Fastball misses up high, 1-0.
The 9th man to come to the plate in the inning here for Utah Valley. Cade Andrus led off the inning, standing in the on-deck circle.
Brayman, not a high-velocity fastball, mid-80s, and will come with a slider. 2-pitch guy. There's the slider, and it caught the outside corner, and it's 1-1. Bogdan at first, Perkins at second, Schleihuber at third base. Good speed on the base paths for the Wolverines. Everybody playing straight away for the Gales. Here's the pitch. Slider, strike 2.
I think the impressive thing about this, too, Jordan, is all this came with 2 outs. Anderson right near went down 1-2, and then Kruger had the double. Gothberg has the double, and then they just added on. All this coming with 2 outs, an impressive sign of hitting.
Absolutely. The 1-2 pitch coming to the right-handed hitting Fuller. Swing and a miss, but he gets away from the catcher, but he keeps it in front of him. Thorson throws down to first base to complete the strikeout, and the inning is over. So the Wolverines leave 3 stranded. However, they do get 3 runs on 4 hits, and they lead it 10-6 here as we head to the 7th inning in Orem. You're listening to Utah Valley Baseball on the Utah Valley Radio Network. Wolverines lead it 10-6. Back out on the mound for the Wolverines is Nathan Simmons. And I say Nathan Simmons, I beg your pardon. Back out on the mound is Logan Hold for the Wolverines. And to tell you all about it, here is Ryan Pickens.
So Zach Kirtley stands in the box with a no ball, 1 strike count as Logan Hold is set, ready to go from the stretch. And the delivery is going to be on the outside corner, and it stays away for a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. Kirtley, Ferguson, and Hornsby coming up, 2, 3, and 4 here in the inning. Logan Hold from the stretch. So worked well here through the 3 innings, put zeros up as that one stays low and away, and count goes to 2 balls and a strike. 2 balls and 1 strike. Wolverines lead it 10-6, trying to get game 3 of this 4-game series and split tomorrow with a victory. Hold, set, and delivers home, and that one's going to sit right on the outside corner and for a ball, and the count goes to 3 balls and a strike. So a good hitter's count here if you're Zach Kirtley. Kirtley has a home run and a single on the day. and then hit another one pretty deep to left back in the 4th inning that was caught by Perkins. So 3-1 pitch on its way now, and Kirtley's going to swing, grounds that one. Shaylin Huber can't handle it. Bogdan picks it up, long throw across, but not in time. And so Kirtley, I would imagine that being hit as hard as it would be probably ruled a hit.
I don't know, Ryan. You've been like 0 for 2 on those today.
Yeah, I am not having a good day when it comes to that. And so my batting average, is, about 1 for, and they're going to...
It is an error, I believe.
Yep, and it is an E5, so I am now 0 for 3 on the day. I thought...
All right. No, did you say it was going to be a hit? I thought you said it was going to be an error.
I thought it was going to be a hit, because I thought it was hit awfully hard. But
I'll pay attention more.
At the end of the day, that's okay. Tomorrow's a whole new ball game as Colin Ferguson swings through it and can't come up with contact. No balls and a strike. Ferguson's walk tonight hit a 3-run homer to right field and then grounded out back in the 1st.
Well, you want to be careful with him here. We've talked about that earlier, but you lead. You have a 4-run lead if you're UVU, but it can quickly become a 2-run lead.
Fastball misses and it's 1-1. St. Mary's, after leaving the state of Utah, will head home for Pacific next weekend to open up West Coast Conference play. They'll play Pacific and then at San Jose State and Portland in the next couple upcoming weeks. No balls and 1 strike. Wait sets and delivers low. Logan Hold, on the mound. It's 2-1. Hold's done very well out of the pen. No sign down in the bullpen of action warming up. 2 balls and a strike. The count on Ferguson. 2 balls and a strike. Kirtley gets his lead at first. The delivery comes home. That one stays away, ball 3, and the count goes to 3 balls and a strike. Infield up the middle, going to play pretty close to double play depth. Bogdan closer to the bag than Zach Fuller is. But a big hole on the left side, definitely playing him to pull. Outfield moving back. Kruger again about a step off the warning track. On the home run that Ferguson hit, there was pretty much no doubt about it because Kruger took about 2 steps and hit the wall. The 3-1 pitch from Logan Hold. Kicks and delivers home. Time called right about the time that Hold delivered that one. He continued to send the pitch home, but it was time called.
Logan Holt's not going to be happy about that. That's a really late time granted by home plate umpire Jeff Clough. And pitchers do not like it when batters call time that late into the windup or into his motion home. But a good idea by Holt to keep coming, because if you try and stop it, you can cause an injury.
3-1 pitch. That one's well outside, ball 4. And so St. Mary's has put the first 2 men on here in the 7th inning, and that's going to bring up Connor Hornsby. And you have to wonder if that's going to spark a visit to the mound by Dave Carter. And it looks like some action may start to get brewing in the Wolverine bullpen.
Again, very frustrating if you're the Wolverines. You haven't given up hard hit balls here to 2 men. There's been an error at third and a walk. So now the tying run is on deck for really nothing. And give St. Mary's credit for having good at bats. But if you're the Wolverines, you have to do better than that. But it's early in the season, and I'm sure Dave Carter, pitching coach, letting Hold know to refocus. And Hold has been so good, really, since he's come in. Prior to this inning, he had retired the last 5 batters he'd faced, so he has been very, very good out of the bullpen tonight.
So now we'll see here as Hornsby stands in. Runners on at first and second. Hornsby, wearing number 20, has flown out to center, walked, and grounded out to Gothberg at first. Hold from the stretch, looking to try to ground up a double play here. The bunt showed. Hornsby lays it right down. Hold going to get to immediately go to third, and they're going to get the out of third. So Kirtley going to be retired. He's going to be retired 1-5 officially in the scorebook for the first out of the inning. Ferguson advances to second, and reaching on the fielder's choice is Hornsby. And now Anthony Gonsolin comes up, but that is a huge out because now, Jordan, you're a ground ball away from getting out of the inning.
Well done by Logan Holt, fielding his position there. Came off the mound, made a nice scoop, pivoted through to third, knew he had time. Well done.
Gonsolin standing in from the right side, struck out and has walked twice tonight. I can say tonight now because it's relatively evening out. And that one swung out by Gonsolin and hit pretty well. Andrus going to go back into the gap, but it's going to be Perkins who makes the catch. Tagging, and the throw comes in. It's cut off by Bogdan. And I don't know if that was Andy Perkins in left, who makes the catch. Threw me off because Perkins bats left, so I was looking for a left-handed throw, and it was a right-handed throw. Then Perkins bats left and throws right. So 2 outs here in the top of the 7th inning, and now Anthony Villa is going to come up as we get the action going now a little more heavy in that UVU bullpen. It kind of looks like Kyle Valgardson from the delivery, but I'm not sure. So 2 outs as Villa comes in. Villa's doubled and struck out twice tonight. Hold from the stretch, delivers home. That one's blocked by Rainier. Runners are going to go, and 1 ball, 1 strike, and Ferguson must have tagged up on that fly ball. Yeah, he tagged up because that's why the throw came to third. I promise I'll get it together one of these days.
Yeah, it's all right.
1 ball and no strikes. Set, ready to go. Hold delivers home. That one's a check swing. Did he go? Appeal, yes he did. So 1 ball, 1 strike. Jackson Thorson, the catcher, waiting on deck for St. Mary's. Game 4 of a 4-game series set for high noon tomorrow.
High noon.
1 ball and 1 strike, as stepping off the mound here as time was called is Logan Holt. Runners on at second and third. 2 outs. Villa in the box, and time called again. This time Seth Rainier will head out to the mound and have a quick word with the starting pitcher. And that's really not a bad time to go out there and have that quick visit to the mound.
No, you definitely want to be on the exact same page, and this is a big at bat here. Tying run is on deck. A base hit would score 2 most likely, with runners on second and third and 2 out. Wolverines with a 4-run lead, but it doesn't feel like it.
1 ball and 1 strike to count. The delivery home from Hold, and that one just missed off the inside corner. And the count goes to 2 balls and a strike. And Jordan, probably one of the reasons why it feels that way is we've seen St. Mary's 3 times in the last 2 days score 4 or more runs in an inning. And so at times they've been able to get those bats going pretty quick. 2 balls and a strike. Hold checks the runner at third, Ferguson, and delivers home the 2-1 pitch. Villa swings and comes up empty. He took a big hack and came up with absolutely nothing but air.
That looked like a slider, and it was pretty, tailing off the plate on the outside. So the fans get into a little bit here with the count 2-2.
2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 gone here in the 7th. Villa at the plate, hitting .294, hitting .286 with runners on. Has below 300 though with runners in scoring position. And there's a fastball high, and it just missed a little bit above the belt. And the count runs full 3-2.
That one did not miss by much.
I'll give it the benefit of the doubt and say it was just a little bit above the belt.
Yeah, the fans giving home plate umpire Jeff Clough a little
3 balls and 2 strikes. Delivery on the home. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. So Logan Hold closes the door. Bends, but he doesn't break. gets a couple of base runners on, but then shuts them down with a strikeout. And we will stand and stretch here at Brent Brown Ballpark, where the Wolverines have a 10-6 lead on the St. Mary's Gales. Back with the bottom of the 7th after the 7th inning stretch. Here on WolverineGreen.com, the bottom of the 7th inning, the Wolverines will send the top with their lineup. Cade Andrus, Seth Reinier, and Mark Kruger to the plate against Vince Brayman, getting ready to go into his 2nd inning of work. He came in to get the final out, which ended up being a strikeout of Zach Fuller to end at the bottom of the 6th. And Brayman's first pitch home to Andrus is a big cut by Cade, and he comes up empty. No balls and a strike. 10-6 in favor of Utah Valley. Game 3 of 4 from Brent Brown Ballpark. Brayman delivers the 0-1, and Andrus swings and pulls that one. Diving stop at third by Villa. Gets to his feet, throws across the diamond in time to get Andrus. A great diving play by Villa, as he had to dive to his left, make the stop, get up and throw across the diamond, and he just barely got Cade Andrus by less than a half a step for the first out of the inning. And that's going to bring up Seth Reinier. Seth is 1 for 3 with 2 runs scored in this one. Hit by pitch and a single. He got on via an error earlier in the game, and the pitch home is swung on and fouled away down over towards the UVU bullpen. No balls and 1 strike. Lights beginning to take a little more effect here as the evening time sets in here in Orem, Utah. Breaking ball, Reinier swings and hits that one into left field. It's going to fall for a base hit. So a nice piece of hitting there by Seth Reinier, not to do too much. And the Wolverines have their 15th hit of the ball game and their first here in the 7th inning.
Yeah, that kind of jammed Reinier a little bit, but he just muscled it out there into left center field.
That brings Mark Kruger to the plate. Kruger wearing number 21. Singled and has doubled tonight, his 9th double of the year. Sorry, not his 9th double of the year. Doubled to right. And now he'll stand in. Brayman from the stretch. Kicks and delivers, and that's going to be about belt-high fastball, which is good for a strike. No balls and a strike. Spencer Gothberg to follow on deck for Utah Valley. Kruger, a pretty big presence in the batter's box. Brayman set from the stretch. Reinier gets his lead, the delivery home, and that one's driven to right by Kruger, and it's going to be foul down into the warning track and just the other side of the bullpen. And so, too, that one was kind of one that initially off the bat, Jordan, I kind of felt that it had a little bit bigger pop than it did, and then I realized, oh, that's just a line drive.
Yeah, Kruger a little bit out on his front foot on that pitch, and it just hooked well foul.
No balls and 2 strikes here to Mark Kruger. Now hitting .222, so he's raised his average up a lot tonight with a 2 for 3 game. Scored twice and knocked in a run. Reinier's going. The throwdown's going to be high. It's going to go into center field. Reinier doesn't notice it until Fisk had picked it up and was about to throw it in. So I believe that should be, well, I'm going to wait to see this time.
It should be a stolen base.
That's what I'm thinking. I don't think there should be an error on the throw because
No, and
Rainier would have had that one clean.
yeah, and Rainier would have, even if Rainier tried, he shouldn't have, even if he would have known the ball went into center field, he would have never tried for third. Backing up nicely on the play was Fisk. So, no error, just a stolen base there.
1 ball, 2 strikes, the count. Kruger set. Brayman kicks and delivers home, and a breaking ball called. Strike 3 on the outside corner.
And that may have not been on the outside corner. Mark Kruger, you don't see complain a lot. He stood in the batter's box for a second and just kind of thought about it. That's a tough call. I think that was an inch or two off the plate. So Brayman made a nice pitch, but that's a tough one to get rung up on.
So 2 outs here in the 7th, and Spencer Gothberg steps in. Gothberg goes around on the first one, kind of goes to a 3/4 swing there, but it's still a swing for strike number 1. Gothberg on the night has a 2 RBI single, an RBI double, has scored twice. I mean, just a good all-around game for Spencer Gothberg. His average is now up to 324. No balls and a strike, set, ready to go. Brayman sets, pickoff move, diving back is Rainier. Brayman set as he gets ready to get back on the mound. Action still going in the UVU bullpen. So Valgardson is getting set. No balls and a strike. The delivery comes inside. Good, blocked by Thorson. But that one's low for a ball, 1-1. As we'll see the back end of that UVU bullpen probably come in, try to close this one down, get a win, and be heading into the game tomorrow looking for the split in the series. Which really, for the way the first 2 games went, a split would be really nice if you're Utah Valley. 1 ball and 1 strike. Brayman delivers home. That one in the other batter's box. A good block, though, behind the plate by Thorson.
And I know you know this, Ryan. You've been here the past 2 days. This game far from over as well. A 4-run lead just has not been safe. Well, I shouldn't say it. I shouldn't put it that way. The Wolverines have never had a 4-run lead until now, but I should say the St. Mary's offense has never been one to go down easy in the first 2 games.
Putting up 3 or 4 for them comes relatively quick. Gothberg swings and makes contact with that. That looked a little inside. It might have been ball 3 had Gothberg let it go. But I don't know. Maybe a different vantage point from here than in the batter's box, I'm sure. Well, I don't want to make a guess. I know that's kind of true. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Even that kind of sounded wishy-washy. So
Different vantage point. Totally different vantage point.
as Jordan lets me know, different vantage point. The 2-2 pitch comes in, and Gothberg lines out one to third. Villa with a nice stop. Going to third will be Rainier, but the throw across will end the 7th inning. So Utah Valley able to get some nice swings and able to get Rainier on, but it doesn't come to fruition at the end of 7 from Brent Brown Ballpark. It's Utah Valley 10, St. Mary 6 here on WolverineGreen.com.
The Wolverines lead it 10-6 as we head to the top of the 8th inning. Kyle Valgartson, the new pitcher on for UVU. 6'4", 225-pound junior out of Provo. Valgartson this season has a 2.70 earned run average. He's 0-2 win-loss. This is his 5th appearance. He has recorded a save this season, pitched 6 2/3 innings, given up 4 walks. Opponents are hitting 200 against him.
And the first pitch from Kyle Valgartson, it goes low for a ball, 1 ball and no strikes, as Jackson Thorson, the catcher, stands in from the left side of the plate. Valgartson sets, kicks, and delivers home, and that's going to stay about belt high with the called strike, and it's 1-1. Be Thorson, Piscotti, and Joey Fisk coming up, 7, 8, 9 for St. Mary's.
Logan Hold, who came out of the ballgame for UVU, did a nice job holding these St. Mary's Gales, I should say.
I believe Logan Hold will be on record for the win if the bullpen here in Valgartson can hold the lead. 1 ball, 2 strikes, the count. Kyle Valgartson taking a look in to Seth Reinier. The kick and the delivery home, and it's going to be popped up by Thorson. Long run for Perkins, and he's going to run out of room, and it's going to go foul. Thorson on the night has walked, doubled, and grounded back to the pitcher. 1 ball and 2 strikes, the count. Thorson did not play in the first 2 games, but giving their starting catcher Ian McLaughlin a rest. Would imagine kind of hard for a catcher to catch back-to-back 9-inning games. The 1-2 pitch, Thorson swings and fouls that one away. You see it a lot of times at lower levels like high school and that, but once you get into the college and into the minor leagues, if there's a doubleheader, or even into the major leagues, if there's a doubleheader, typically the same catcher will not catch both games. 1 ball and 2 strikes, the count. Thorson a pretty squared up, maybe a slightly open stance as Valgartson delivers, and Thorson fouls that one away, and we'll stay here with the 1 ball, 2 strike count. One ball and 2 strikes. Thorson gets set and to go in the batter's box here. Outfield playing pretty straight up. Infield playing at pretty normal depth as well. The 1-2 pitch on its way is going to be swung on line into right field for a base hit. And so Thorson gets his 2nd hit of the night. And St. Mary's has their leadoff man on here in the 8th, and that's going to bring up Austin Piscotti. Piscotti 1 for 15, got his first hit of the season in the 3rd that managed an RBI single for the Gales back in their 5-run 3rd inning. Getting the lead over at first is Thorson. Valgartson working from the stretch here. Infield up the middle at double play depth. Time called. Looks like by the runner. And I don't know if he got something in his eye, but his batting helmet's off, and he's kind of, looks like trying to maybe just fix something in his eye or something. I don't know. But now he's back ready to go. Action going now in the St. Mary's pen. It looks like number 3 getting loose down there. And the delivery on its way is a fastball in the inside corner called strike.
That's Nico Sains down there getting warm, the right-hander for the Gales.
No balls and 1 strike to count. Runners getting ready to get their lead. The kick and the delivery, and that's a check swing. Piscotti I don't think went, and no appeal. They'll just call that one high for a ball. It evens the count at 1 ball, 1 strike.
I said Saints Signs is the correct pronunciation. I apologize.
Nobody out here in the top of the 8th inning. Wolverines trying to hold on to their 4-run lead. Valgartson sets, delivers the 1-1. That one's a pop-up into right field. Kruger coming over. Reinier, and it's going to be Andrus actually calling him off to make the catch. And there's 1 out. A lot of times you'll see one outfielder maybe get there quicker, but the other one has the better angle. So a lot of times the other one, I think that was one of those situations, Jordan, where Cade Andrus coming over from center had a little bit better angle at it.
Yeah, and Cade Andrus is playing center field, and center field always has, it's his ball no matter where you are. The center fielder he takes precedent over any other outfielder. So if he calls for it and Kruger calls for it, Kruger steps away.
A called strike to number 19, Joey Fisk, and no balls and a strike. Fisk has struck out, flown out to left, and grounded to second. No balls and 1 strike to the freshman Fisk. Running, getting his lead over Thorson at first base. A pretty conservative lead, maybe a step or 2 off the bag, and the pitch comes over at 0-1, and it's a ball, so it evens the count at 1 ball, 1 strike. Brett Rosso and the top of the St. Mary's lineup in the on-deck circle. 1 ball and 1 strike. Kyle Valgaardson looking to try to see a ground ball here. Would be very comfortable if you're Valgaardson and the Wolverines. That one sits on the outside corner. 86-mile-an-hour fastball is a strike, and it's 1-2. Lights beginning to take full effect here. Well, not even full effect quite yet. There's still a little bit of daylight out here. I would say 75, 60 to 70% artificial lights at this point. That one goes low and away with the fastball, evens the count at 2-2.
You're telling me we're talking 30% sunlight at this point? Natural light, I guess you could say. 30% natural light.
I did it last year, Jordan. I figured why not bring it back,
That's right.
Stick with what works, 2 balls and 2 strikes the count on Joey Fisk. And Valgaardson from the stretch delivers home, and that one stays low and away, ball 3, and the count runs full 3-2. So this has been a situation St. Mary's has liked to run in. Even they'll run 3-2 with 1 away. I don't think they'll do it here with Jackson Thorson because of a different speed on the base paths, but you just never know.
And you're down 4 runs. That run means nothing at right this second, but we'll see. As you said, not a good-sized lead over there.
Acts like he's going, but he doesn't, and Fisk fouls that one back beyond the roof here at Brent Brown Ballpark, and we'll redo the 3-2.
The reason you wouldn't normally try and steal a bag here down 4 with only a man on first base is because if he gets to second base, then what? You still need 4 runs to tie the ball game. It'd be different if he were the tying run.
3-2 pitch on its way, and that one's fouled right back to the screen. We'll, for the 3rd time, we'll do another 3-2 pitch. Valgaardson on the year, a 2.57 ERA in those 2 losses. Only 2 earned runs on the year. So he's come in and pitched pretty well in the kind of 8th setup closer role for Utah Valley. This one being important for the Wolverines to try to get 1 heading into tomorrow. Fisk gets that one to right. Kruger's going to have to go back on it. He's going to and it's going to go foul as Kruger goes jumping, and he leaped into the wall and kind of came up at first kind of limping a little bit, but he seems fine now as he gets back into right field, and we'll do another 3-2, but Fisk got a lot on that. Just missed it foul.
Yeah, Kruger kind of hugging that line down in right field, give a valiant effort going into foul territory, but never a real shot at catching that ball.
3 balls and 2 strikes. Big hole in left center field for Fisk. Andrus playing a little bit shaded more towards, well, he's practically in right center. And that one's high as the runner was going, and that's ball 4. And so St. Mary's once again putting a couple of base runners on top of this lineup coming up. And this has been the part of the lineup, Jordan, that these first 3 games of the series has caused a lot of problems for Utah Valley.
That's why you hate walking Joey Fisk to get to that top of the order. You're setting the table for St. Mary's after the leadoff single, but you got to fly out and then you walk the 9th-place hitter. So Dave Carter will head out there and have a conversation with Valgaardson as Rosso gets ready to hit.
Valgaardson, a junior from Provo, Utah. So he's one of the more experienced pitchers on this Utah Valley team, coming into this big situation here, top of the lineup coming up. So really, if you're the pitchers you have on staff, probably the pitcher you want out of your bullpen is on the mound right now in this situation. And he'll get Brett Rosso. Rosso's average now up to 429, 15 for his first 35.
And Dave Carter out there, the pitching coach, probably reminding Val Gartson of a few things, but including keeping the ball down. Let's get a ground ball, turn two, and get out of this inning.
You don't want to put Fisk really on the base paths because he is one of their leading base stealers, but here with Thorson in front of him, not his biggest threat. That one's going to be on the outside corner with the fastball for a ball, and it's 1 ball and no strikes.
That St. Mary's bench coming alive again.
One ball, no strikes to count. Valgartson a big look into Seth Rainier behind home plate. Schlehuber in on the grass, and that one's going to be on the outside corner for a called strike, and it's 1-1. I didn't really know the difference necessarily between the first pitch location and the second one. It looked pretty close.
Yeah, I don't think that second pitch was, honestly, I don't think it was a strike. I think that was the same pitch Mark Kruger saw, except he saw a breaking ball that was a fastball, but they were in the same plate, a little bit off the plate. But the home plate umpire, at least being consistent, Jeff Clough, calling it a strike.
1 ball, 1 strike. Valgartson delivers, and that one swung on and missed by Rosso.
And that called strike set up that pitch for Rosso, or for Valgartson, I should say, because I was almost in the same spot, changed the sight line a little bit, went upstairs, but Rosso chased it. He knew he had to go after it because the last pitch had been called a strike.
And now with 2 strikes, he knows in that same location he's going to have to swing at anything close. 1 ball, 2 strikes count. Infield up the middle, double play depth. Time called by Rosso, and he'll take a step out.
I'll be surprised if Valgartson goes inside here. Let's see where Rainier sets up, but I would go outside corner once again. That's where they're going.
1-2 pitch, swung on and missed, strike 3. Valgartson just kind of reared back and just went with the fastball and just tried to throw it past Rosso, and Rosso came up empty, and there's 2 away here in the top of the 8th inning, and you're going to bring up Zach Kirkley. Kirkley having a very good game, had 2 hits early on, had the big home run back in the first, and then a single in the third, but he has definitely chilled off, but he's hitting .500 on the season with runners in scoring position. With that runner out on second base right now, could be of trouble. Kirkley swings and fouls the first one away, and will be no balls and a strike. Colin Ferguson in the on-deck circle, and he would definitely be one you don't want to put up here with runners in scoring position. So Kirkley becomes a very big out if you're UVU. No balls and a strike, as Kirkley will take a step out of the batter's box here. Kirkley raises average to 380, and that's low for a ball, and it evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Kirkley, a freshman from Highland, California, has had a very good start to his collegiate career here so far through about 15, 15 games. 1 ball and 1 strike. Valgartson checks the runner at second, delivers home, and that hits right on the middle of the plate. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. 87 miles an hour from Kyle Valgartson. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 down here in the 8th. Runners get their lead. It's Fisk at first, Thorson at second. The 1-2 delivery on its way is fouled away, and we'll redo 1-2.
A big at bat here, obviously, as the tying run looms on deck in the form of Colin Ferguson, who can tie the game with 1 swing of the bat if he would reach.
Earlier in the game, Ferguson hits a 3-run homer out over right center field. So it would be nice to have him come up in the 9th, where even if he did hit it, he could only put 1 on the board, as that one just off the plate for a ball, 2-2.
That one looked to be about the same spot that we were talking about earlier, Ryan. Those called a strike, but a ball, and Jeff Clough looking over at the UVU dugout and pointing to the outside of the plate saying it was outside. Kirtley should see something very, very good to hit in this at bat because Valgarson does not want to face Ferguson.
2-2 pitch on its way inside. I thought it was going to hit Kirkley, but it doesn't. The count goes to 3-2. So now he'll definitely see something good. The runners will probably be on the move, and if you walk them, you have to pitch to Joe Ferguson. Or sorry, Colin Ferguson.
His friends call him Joe.
3 balls and 2 strikes. 3 balls, 2 strikes the count. Kirkley set in the box. And the 3-2 pitch swung on and fouled away. And we'll once again do the 3-2 as the runners were on the move. I would say that if you had a base open in this scenario, you might consider at this point pitching around Ferguson or maybe putting him on. But that's not a scenario that's going to play out right at this minute. And I wouldn't do it in the 9th with nobody on, where even with one swing of the bat, if he does go yard, it only puts 1 run on the board. 3-2 pitch on its way. Kirkley fouls that one back again, so he's staying alive and finding ways to foul pitches off. He's getting good swings and getting pretty good pitches from Valgarson.
Yeah, what a terrific battle here between Valgarson and Kirtley. Mano a mano.
You have to wonder here if Valgarson might, after throwing him 2 or 3 fastballs, decide to go with something off speed. I guess it will come down to how much trust Valgarson has in the off-speed stuff that he can throw a strike. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Valgarson delivers. That one's popped up by Kirtley on the infield. Gothberg trying to get there. Valgarson trying to, and nobody could get there. It was just put in foul ground, and a very long run there by both Gothberg and Valgarson, and no one could just out of the reach. And so we'll do another 3-2.
Here comes Eric Mattson out of the dugout to have a quick word with Jeff Clough, and I don't know what he was asking him, but he apparently got the information that he wanted and is headed back to the dugout.
3 balls and 2 strikes. Runners again will be likely on the move. This is the 4th 3-2 pitch we've had of this at bat. Runners are about set, ready to go. Thorson at second. Fisk over at first. Valgarson set and delivers, and Kirkley fouls this one away. Thorson not getting as big a jump as Fisk at first. And we'll do another 3-2 pitch.
Just a terrific battle between these two guys right now. Valgarson not giving in, Kirtley not giving in, hasn't seen exactly what he's wanted, just fouling it off, battling until he gets something he can hit. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. The kick and the delivery home. Kirkley swings, hits that one to pretty well center field. Andrus going back. He's going to make the catch on the warning track. And the top of the 8th for St. Mary's comes to an end. A ball that was hit well off the bat of Kirkley, though, lands in the glove. And we move to the bottom of the 7th inning at Brent Brown Ballpark. It's Utah Valley 10, St. Mary's 6. The bottom of the 8th inning here at Brent Brown Ballpark here on WolverineGreen.com. Back here on WolverineGreen.com, the Wolverines lead the Gales of St. Mary's by a score of 10-6 as we head to the bottom half of the 8th inning. New right-handed pitcher on for the Gales. It is Nico Saenz. He is a 5'10", 165-pound junior out of San Jose, just south of Moraga in Northern California, in the Bay Area. It's his 5th appearance of the season. He's pitched 5 innings even, given up 4 hits, walked 2, and struck out 3. Opponents are hitting .222 against the right-hander. He will face the 5, 6, and 7 hitters for the Wolverines, Tate Harding, Jordan Schlehuber, and Andy Perkins, as the Wolverines look to add on to that 10-6 lead.
And we'll see what Tate Harding can do here, Jordan, as he takes his spot in the batter's box. Harding has 2 hits on the night, a double and a 3-run double in the 4th, and an RBI single in the 6th. Standing in from the right side, Saenz sets, kicks, and delivers home. The first pitch is swung on and missed by Harding. No balls and a strike. Harding just kind of sat back and took a cut at that, trying to hit that one to Provo. No balls and a strike. Saenz sets, kicks, and delivers. And that one's going to be swung on by Harding. Grounded to third, fielded by Villa. His throw across the diamond in time. There's one away. So routine ground ball gets the first out of inning number 8. And Jordan Schlehuber will come to the plate. Schlehuber on the day, struck out looking, got hit by a pitch, and lined out to left field. Also grounded into a fielder's choice back in the first. 0 for 3 on the night. Saenz sets, kicks, and delivers home, and that one's fouled straight back. Tomorrow, game 4 of this 4-game series at Brent Brown Ballpark. The Wolverines and St. Mary's, a noon first pitch. So once again, we'll just... as that one swung on and missed, and it's 0-2. Go home, get a quick night's rest, and be back at the ballpark tomorrow. No balls and 2 strikes to count to Schlehuber. Saenz sets, kicks, and delivers home the 0-2 pitch. That one stays just outside with the fastball, 1-2. Andy Perkins on deck for Utah Valley, having himself a pretty good game, a couple of nice defensive plays. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Time called as Thorson will head out to the mound to have a quick word with the righty. Tomorrow's pitching matchup is set up to be another good one. Patrick Wolf, the sophomore left-hander for UVU, goes up against Cameron Neff. So that should be a good one at noon. As the 1-2 pitch, Saenz delivers home. Swung on and missed, strike 3. So Schlehuber goes down on strikes, and there's 2 away here in the 8th, and that brings up Andy Perkins. Perkins on the day has doubled, grounded out to third, and singled back in the 3rd, as it looks like our sound system is back up and running, I guess. And the first pitch home to Perkins is swung on and popped up into center field, sending back Fisk, but he's going to get under it, and he makes the catch, and the 8th inning comes to an end. So if you're the St. Mary's Gales, you have 3 outs left, and right now Utah Valley's 3 putouts away from getting their first win of the series and their first win of the year at Brent Brown Ballpark. We'll see if the Wolverines can do it right here on WolverineGreen.com. Top half of the ninth inning here at Brent Brown Ballpark. The Wolverines are 3 outs away from their first home victory of the 2015 season and their third victory overall of the year, as Kyle Valgartson will close it out with going up against the 3, 4, and 5 hitters for St. Mary's. It will be Colin Ferguson, Connor Hornsby, and Anthony Gonsolin. And Jordan, the exciting final 3 outs. We'll see if UVU can do it.
Thank you, Ryan. First pitch misses away to the left-handed hitting Colin Ferguson. 1 ball, no strikes to him. Ferguson, tremendous power, outfield very, very deep. In center, Andrus is playing well shaded into right center field. The pitch, that one swung on and hit well to right. Going back is Kruger. Kruger at the wall, looking up, reaching. It's gone! Goodbye! Colin Ferguson's second home run of the ball game, a solo shot this time, and it's 10-7 Wolverines. And you have to think about this one. That's why the Wolverines did not want to face him with the bases loaded as the tying run.
Yeah, because I mean, you think of it. I said it between the break of how big of an out that was to get Kirkley, because even if, and I said it to you, Jordan, I said, well, even if, let's say that Ferguson goes yard, at least it's only 1 run on the board. He can't beat you with even a solo shot.
Swing and a miss here from Connor Hornsby. I'm sorry. I'm just laughing. We're all laughing in the booth because they played Let the Good Times Roll after that home run by Colin Ferguson. Geez, Kyle Valgartson not getting a lot of support out there from the booth up here. That ball misses. It's 1-1.
Valgartson just misses with that pitch there and evens the count at 1-1.
Hornsby from the right side. Swing and a foul back to the screen, just missing that one, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Action going in the UVU bullpen. Number 25, Marco Briones, and also number 30, Hunter Smith, getting loose.
The Wolverines do not want to take any chances. They have a 3-run lead in the top of the 9th, 10-7. Again in center, Andrus shaded to the right. Everybody else about straight away. That one swung on and fouled off to the right, out of play, and the count is 1-2. Valgartson came in last inning, did a very nice job. Let on a couple base runners, but stranded them. He's given up a solo shot to begin this inning, but still leads by 3. Wolverines looking to get that first win here in Orem. They've dropped 2 straight to St. Mary's. 1-2 pitch. Struck him out looking. A fastball right there, and he fooled Connor Hornsby. 1 away.
You could tell Hornsby was just waiting on the breaking ball and then saw the fastball and just kind of saw the umpire ring him up and went, yep, there's the fastball.
Valgartson, his second strikeout of the night. And here comes Anthony Gonsolin. He's going to have a quick word down the third base side with the head coach for St. Mary's, Valenzuela.
Gonsolin's done a good job tonight, finding ways on base. Had a couple of walks earlier in the ball game. That's really what you want here if you're St. Mary's. You're not going to get obviously all 3 runs back with 1 swing of the bat, but you do want to have an opportunity to get some base runners on to get those 3 runs back.
And that's something they've been successful at, getting base runners on. And that's what they need down 3 runs. Anthony Villa waits on deck. Right-handed hitter. Gonsolin hitting .250 this season. No home runs. 6 RBIs. First pitch fastball, just right there, painting the black on the outside corner was Valgartson, and it's 0-1.
Ian McLaughlin for St. Mary's has moved into the on-deck circle.
So a pinch hitter waiting on deck, left-handed hitter. Fastball swung on and missed. He chased a high one, and it's 0-2.
Hard part here is to try to keep doing the things you know right, not chase pitches, because I mean, you have to know, okay, I need to get on base, so your sense of urgency is to try to get a hit, but you do have to still remain patient and do those things right.
Trying to keep that adrenaline a little bit under control. No balls, 2 strikes. From the windup, Valgartson delivers in the dirt and stopped by Seth Rainier behind home plate. He'll run out and have a word with Valgartson and head back behind the dish. 10-7, Wolverines nursing that 3-run lead here, trying to get their first victory of this series. The outfield playing deep. Everybody straight away. No wind here as night has fallen in Orem. 1 out, nobody on. Bottom, or rather top half of the 9th. The pitch swung on, a little blooper into right field. Coming in is Kruger, now stepping back and making the grab, and there are 2 away. Nice play by Kruger. He misread the ball off the bat, but then quickly corrected his trajectory and made the play. So St. Mary's down to their last out, and it's going to be a pinch hitter. You're right, it is number 6, Ian McLaughlin, who started the 2 other ball games, but the first 2 ball games, I should say, of this series. He will pinch hit. Left-handed hitter against the righty Valgartson. Valgartson steps off the back of the mound, wipes his brow. The home plate umpire, Jeff Clough, records the pinch hit. From the windup, Valgartson throws. Fastball, misses outside. 1 ball, no strikes to McLaughlin. McLaughlin hitting .345 this season. He's only had 29 at-bats, no home runs, 7 RBIs, 1-0 pitch. Swung on and lifted foul down the left field line and out of play. The count is even at 1-1.
An interesting move here by St. Mary's to bring out McLaughlin instead of letting Vila hit the basket, or let Villa hit the baseball here. But at the same time, Villa's had a tough game. McLaughlin has had a pretty good first 2 games. Might as well try it here.
1-1 pitch, misses high and away, 2-1. And McLaughlin is a left-handed hitter facing the righty Valgartson on the mound. 2 balls, 1 strike to count, 2 outs, nobody on. Top of the 9th, 10-7 UVU. The pitch, swing and a foul back to the backstop, and St. Mary's is down to their last strike. And the fans begin to get into it here. Rainier looks into the dugout. Now crouches down. Valgartson working from the windup. 2 balls, 2 strikes. He kicks. He throws. This one a little nubber into left field. Coming in is the left fielder Perkins. It's going to drop for a base hit. It bounces off his chest. He recovers, though, and throws it into second base. And St. Mary's is alive here in the 9th. The tying run on deck now as Jackson Thorson will come to the plate, the left-handed hitting catcher. Valgartson still out there, a righty and lefty, still warming in the pen for Utah Valley. So if you're Valgartson, this is a big hitter. You don't want to face the tying run. That would be, and another pinch hitter has come out now.
Logan Steinberg
on deck. 2 outs, the pitch. Fastball, or rather breaking ball, I beg your pardon, misses away. 1-0 the count. Valgartson into the stretch now. The run at first means nothing. He won't pay any attention to him, although he is being held on. An interesting move with the left-hander at the plate. That one swung on, and that's going to be into the gap. A diving. He made the play! Kruger dove forward and made the play, and the ball game is over. What a play by Mark Kruger. A sensational diving catch to end the threat and to end the ball game. The Wolverines get the victory in Game 3 of this 4-game set and win it, or finally get their first win at home, I should say, in the 2015 season. The final score, 10-7. It was a sinking liner. I didn't think Kruger was going to get there at the last minute. A headlong dive, and he came up with it, a backhanded grab just above the grass.
Kind of risky there to go for the dive. I mean, I think a lot of people would have just said, okay, well, we'll just give him the base hit here and just cut it off. But Mark Kruger makes what, because, I mean, you think of it, if that ball gets behind him, or he misses that, I mean, that's extra bases easily, and then the tying run's coming up to the plate. But they're a great play by Mark Kruger there to hold the win, and you can tell the the Wolverines are very excited about that win. That has to feel good after having a couple of days where you just kind of struggled.
It is. On that exact play for Mark, I think that's him thinking really well out there, focused, because he knows if the ball gets past him,